And I do believe we're live, and my face is on the internet, whether I approve or not. Here I am. Hey, folks. Hope people are doing okay. How's my audio? Am I blowing out? Hello, hello, hello. No, okay. Kinda hitting the red there a little. Let me turn down the gain just a tad. There we go. All right, I don't know if that made a difference, but anyway, hi. Happy Friday, folks. I hope folks are doing okay. I hope chat is, chat's quiet, which is how it should be. It's Friday afternoon. I hope y'all are out there touching grass or otherwise having fun and not doing what I'm doing, which is locked inside a dark room about to spend a few hours yelling semi-coherently about tabletop RPGs. But, I am who I am. So here we go. Anyway, it's Friday. Apologies for starting the stream a little late this afternoon. Unfortunately, the folks that are just perennially, forever, doing construction literally right underneath my window were back today, and as 2 p.m. approached, they were. Oh boy, they were all excited. They were all excited with the chainsaws. I don't know what they were chainsawing, frankly, but they were very loud about them. And they were having a good time. I did not feel like I should have intruded in that, so I didn't. I delayed the stream, and by now they're gone. The good news is they usually they don't like to work late, right? So usually by around 3 p.m. they're done. So, it's not the worst idea. In any case, I've been considering maybe starting these streams a little later anyway, since a lot of the people that I think would be more interested in watching these streams can't tune in during the afternoon because, unlike me, they have jobs and are productive members of society. And I can't really blame them for that, can I? I can't hold that against them. Least I can do is see if I can possibly offer the compelling content that I do on a different schedule, right? So that they can tune in and they can enjoy my whatever the fuck it is I do here. Anyway, let's talk some tabletop RPGs, right? I've got two today. In fact, let's try something here. There we go. If I go over to the overhead, oh boy, this is a mess. So yesterday we were looking at this one, right? The Orpheus Protocol. But that's in part because we had stopped and paused on. Well, did my video? Okay, no, okay, that's why with that. Hey! Nobody told you to stop doing that. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Sorry, my side screen just decided to stop playing because tech is cursed when you're a podcaster or streamer. Apparently, it's just there is a curse that comes with, as there should be. Frankly, it's a cursed profession. But we had been looking at Triangle Agency about a week ago, right? And I have the whole set here. I'm not going to spend time going over every little piece of it, but we've got the perfectly normal briefcase, and in here were some dice and of course all the books. And alas, I intended to never deface these, but it turns out I did. I had to because I needed a character, and the character sheets for Triangle Agency, the online ones, I could not find a good one. I'm sure I could have had I looked in time, but as I've said before, ADHD is a hell of a drug, right? So I really didn't have my character ready for stream time, so I finished him up, Mr. Jeremy Quayle. So you can see here, I finished him up just as we were starting to stream. Again, not stream, sorry, as we were starting to record. Again, not going to say who we recorded with yet, not until it's announced. But very good people, and I had an absolutely lovely time. So in terms of how did the game go, I think it went great. I had a lot of fun with this game. I made a character. The character that I made was then Jeremy Quayle's. Oh yeah, sorry, sidetrack, because that's what we do here in this stream. I did kind of, I had a problem finding a good fillable online character sheet. I'm sure there is one. I'm sure, in fact, the publisher provides one. But when I went to the publisher, I couldn't find it immediately, and I was in a rush. So I was like, just searching online, like a Triangle Agency character sheet, and all the ones I found were horrible or were actually very advanced and kind of filled themselves out and whatnot. but require you to have Excel installed. And I get it. I get that Excel is very powerful and flexible. I will not. I will not. No, you cannot make me install Office. I've left that life. Please don't drag me back in. So thankfully, with my perfectly normal briefcase collection, I got a character agenda, the triangle agenda character organizer, right? So I made Jeremy Quails. His anomaly is the catalog, which happens to be this page that I'm open to here. His reality is a backbone, and his competency is hotline. And I basically played him. My initial intention with the character was kind of a sort of Ursat's cult leader. He ended up being more of an MLM guy, but he was a lot of fun to play. He kind of became the face of the group. And I didn't really get to use, so out of the powers that a catalog has, what's that over there, which changes an item from one to another, or, creates a new item somewhere that you're kind of looking at, a new mundane item, or you might also like, which lets you kind of change one item for another. I was very close to using this one, but the one I ended up using was Your Best Self. So I made a copy of myself, of my character, that had IT skills, because we needed to get into a security server that has some footage that we wanted to get into. So I used this in a, it was a cart. We were at a pool, in a public pool, and there was one of those big carts that holds all the used towels, big enough to hold a person anyway. So that's the container that I used to activate this. So from the towels arose who we quickly dubbed Sparemy, and he was great. Our GM played Sparemy, who only lives for an hour, and we got him a snack, and he got a little existential, and Sparemy really was the MVP of the game. But yes, it was good. Once you kind of got into it, this part of it is all very simple. But you'll notice that I did select my reality, backbone, a reality trigger, endless responsibility, burnout, a release. Here's my card. But you'll notice that this is all blank. All right? I didn't do the relationships. I didn't really do the requisition work, like benefit stuff. And I'm gonna get into that. Because I have some comments, not necessarily bad, right? And then I didn't fill this out because I would just refer to the book. But yeah, and if I'd had more time, again, this is entirely on me. If I'd had more time, I would have filled out more of these anomaly abilities, right, and had the whole thing done. And again, we didn't really do the relationships or anything like that, because this kind of was a one shot, and I think that's where I'm trying to the comment that I'm trying to make. The game is a lot of fun as a one shot. Definitely enjoyed my time with it. So in terms of feedback of how the game went, there was definitely that sort of learning / adjustment curve with the system. As we examine the system for this game it's not crazy complicated. Where are my D4s? What did I do with my little stack of D4s? Did I put them in the box? I did, didn't I? Why did I put them in the box? Let's get them out of the box, shall we? Let's get them out of the box. There we go. Hell yeah. So these D4s, right? This is what you roll. This is a standard roll. That would have been a single success, right? So basically, in this game, you roll your D4s, and any 3s are effectively successes. All you need is a single 3 to be a success. But the number of 3s that you get affects how much chaos is generated, and we'll get to that as well in a minute, right? But it's a simple system in terms of the mechanics, right? And then if you're rolling one of your stats here, one of your quality assurances, if you have quality assurance points in that, which you determine during character generation, you can spend some of those. For example, I make this roll, I got 2 successes, but maybe I wanted a 3rd success. There are reasons for that, right? Especially because having a 3rd success means no chaos gets generated, and as a player, generally you want to minimize the chaos in theory. So I would have spent, if that was a duplicity roll, I could have spent that and had that extra success. The downside is if you're making a roll with any of the ones that you don't have QAs, quality assurances in, that means that you're always under burnout. You've got one less success. So you roll, and something like this would actually, I don't know. Well, no, I guess Actually, let's find out. I was gonna say, does Transcendence actually overcome that? I don't think it does. I don't think it does. There's a actually, it's on here. It's in the box. It's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? Here we go. So we've got a flow chart that comes in the perfectly normal briefcase, right? So I rolled and I got 3 ones immediately. So we don't even. Okay, based on this, it sounds like you don't even apply burnout before, like if you roll 3 3s, but I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Let's go to the rule book real quick, because actually, I mean, as much as I would like it, so that if you roll Transcendence, it doesn't matter if you're burnt out, but I don't think that's how that works. That feels like it would be a little bit too OP, right? Let's see. We actually do have, I think, a more detailed flow chart on that. Yes, I know I'm getting sidetracked yet again, but it's still technically kind of on topic. Here we go. So using the 4-sided dice. Chaos, difficulty, more chaos, more problems. Qualities, quality assurance, burnout. Okay. When one of your qualities has no quality assurances remaining, including burnout, if it never had any at all, you have burnout when rolling that quality. Burnout burns when you die, showing a 3, reducing your chance of success, and adding 1 chaos to every roll. Always removes 1 3 and generates 1 chaos. If there's no 3 to burn, it still adds the chaos. So the way I'm seeing this is, yeah. So if I was rolling initiative, for example, that actually wouldn't have been a Transcendence. That would have been just 2 successes, which is still a success, right? But that's the downside of rolling the apps. Anyway, the kind of the learning curve on this is that by default, you don't really, like, if, oh, hey, I'm going to sneak in here, you don't roll stealth, right? You don't roll subtlety or duplicity directly or anything. You do it or you don't, right? If it's something that your character can easily do based on what the GM or the guide thinks, then you do it. Otherwise, you can't do it, and you have to figure out some other way. Right? You are just a person for the most part, right? You're not a ninja. There's security equipment out there. You're not going to sneak into this place. There are cameras. So how are you going to get around that? So your options then become that the only thing that you roll for are either using your anomaly powers or asking the agency for assistance, for resources. And it is a learning curve. Especially for a one-shot, when you're first starting out, you've never been exposed to the system before, there is a level of friction because it is that difficult. Like, there were a few times during the game where we were like, okay, what can I actually do here? And there was like, moments of just like being frozen and going like, I'm not entirely sure what I can do as a character in this situation. And to the game's in the game's defense, it does tell you can ask the agency. That's literally what you're supposed to do. It feels weird. It does feel weird. It requires a bit of a mindset shift. I think the mindset shift specifically is that sort of acceptance of, hey, I'm just a dude. I work for the Triangle Agency. They're the ones that have the capabilities here. I can't really do anything on my own except, it's my anomaly that makes me useful kind of thing. It's like that kind of mindset. Once you kind of get into that, then it becomes a little easier. And honestly, by the end of the session, by the end of the one shot, we were kind of rolling with it very well. So it is a learning curve, but it's not an insurmountable one, and it's not from a player side, not a terribly complex system. That said, I don't know all the details of what went on behind the GM screen. So to catch people up who are not aware of what's been going on with my ongoing slow and steady review of this game, which, by the way, let me make some adjustments here. Let me make some adjustments here, because it's so high that you can barely. Let's get it a little bit further down. There we go. Kind of remove. Bear with me. stuff over there. All right. So now we can see a little more here. So when we were looking at this game, we were doing the usual thing that we do on this stream, going page by page on the game and me yelling semi-coherently at them. But then once we got to kind of the end of character creation, the different explanations of our competencies, our reality, etc. Hey, T with the Unicorn, no worries. Thank you for the lurk. I'll hopefully still be here when you get off of work. I mean, I'm here for a couple hours. So, if then you get to this point, by the way, we got to this point, and here the book gives you a specific, it stops you. We have an onboarding questionnaire, and the GM was very specific. He made sure to ask us a few questions about here and took some notes. By the way, my character takes his coffee black. And we got to this page in which the book straight up tells you, wait, we recommend field agents do not proceed beyond this point until after their first mission. And then tells you, hey, you know everything you need to know to execute/play one mission of Triangle Agency. And I think they were right. Based on what we'd seen here, I felt very prepared to run that, to play that one mission that I played. And it goes, if you were a field agent, you can return to this point at the conclusion of your initial mission, which has happened now, and read the final few pages of the field agent manual. You are not forbidden to continue reading the rest of this section, but none of it is relevant now and may feel overwhelming before you've played the game. Hey, Ken Doyle, welcome in, friend. Good to see you. Good afternoon. And then if you're the field team's GM, general manager, then we recommend you do continue reading through the end of the general manager's toolkit. Okay, so first of all, spoiler warning, right? If you are planning to be a player in this game, if you don't have a lot of interest in running it, then, this is probably where you want to hop off. Come back in an hour. Because there's going to be a little bit of spoilers. That said, this game has an interesting concept. It's got what are called play-walled, instead of paywalled, play-walled documents. Basically, all of these in this section here, the blue sort of lettered sections have a letter and a number. So you'll notice, and we're going to go back here, for example, to my catalog powers here. Every time you use one of your powers, there's a little questionnaire that's tied to them. For example, for my best self, the questionnaire said, the enemy of my enemy is, and you've got two options, my friend or me. And as you answer these, and again, I'm not 100% sure on these, but it seems that these are basically your advancement mechanics for your powers. As you use them more, depending on your answers to these questions, whichever one kind of hits 3, there is almost a choose-your-own-adventure-esque progression. You go like, oh, so now we go to the playwall document P5, for example, if I had answered this 3 times, or Y5, depending on whatever, right? So then you would find that page here and read them. So and the concept is that it's play-walled. It's not until you play through and get to this point that then you go and read the thing and find out what it is. The game kind of really does have a spoiler mechanic that way, which I find really interesting. And I'm going to respect. We are going to minimize as much as possible access to play-walled sections of this game. So, although I am going to, spoil a little, we're going to go past this section. I think we're probably going to keep going, and then we'll see how the general manager's toolkit feels. Because one mechanic that gets generated a lot, that we didn't, as players, have a lot of direct contact with, is that whole mechanic of generating chaos. When you roll your die, let me see if I can get to that page again. Here we go, yeah. When you roll your die, right, your results generate X amount of chaos. There's a whole explanation here. From a player standpoint, all you really know is more chaos, more problems. Again, it's not entirely linear. See the chart for details. But though we reported to our general manager whatever chaos was generated from our roll. All we knew is that Gemini was keeping track of those. And from reading the rules, I understand that all that chaos that we generated, and by the time our adventure kind of got to its high point, I'm going to be very general in the description of the session because I don't want to spoil the actual session. So again, once it gets announced, I'll provide links and everything because it was a fun time and I would like y'all to listen and enjoy it. But when my understanding from the rules is that the GM then uses that chaos to give the anomaly that you are hunting special abilities, to let it do specific things, to let it sort of expand its domain, to let it, I guess, summon sort of minions, to let it, do all manner of supernatural and reality bending effects. And so when those started happening, I distantly knew that that was probably the GM spending that chaos that we had generated. In character, and even just as a player at a basic level, though, I never quite knew like where the chaos was going. I knew it had been generated. I knew that at other points later, weird shit happened, and I didn't know. You don't really know as a player, and I think that's very intentional. Again, right at this point, once you get to this page, you as a player have not been told how those chaos mechanics work from a game master standpoint. So I didn't know. I mean, I did know if you're keeping track, you'd at least keep track of how much chaos has been generated. And so I knew we had hit over 20 chaos. I think we were like at 26 or more at some point. We generated a substantial amount of chaos with a few rolls. But when the weird shit started happening, I don't know if, a certain like change that happened where like one thing changed into another. I don't know if that cost 1 chaos or 5 chaos or 20 chaos. You as a player don't know like what the actual cost. So it does leave you at a bit of a imbalance, and a good one, honestly, information balance, in which you're never entirely sure what the anomaly can get away with and what can actually do. You don't know. You might know on a grand total level how many chaos points it's gotten, but you don't know exactly how those chaos points are getting spent, what the costs are, etc., which I think lent a little bit of sort of that balance to it. Definitely made the anomaly feel like again, like we're unprepared. We don't know what it's going to do. It made it for a more gave the scene a bit more tension, I think, than it would have had if we had known clearly. It's like, all right, well, we generated 28 chaos throughout the adventure, and we know that summoning minions cost 5 chaos, so we know that once it's summoned like a 5th minion, it's not going to have any more points no matter what, that sort of thing, because you do the math and like, all right, so it's so possible mathematically it cannot summon more than 5 minions, stuff like that, right? I guess it does avoid a little bit of that metagaming. So as a player, I think I like what the game did here, where it gives you that pause and makes that recommendation. And honestly, so far, without having flipped this page yet, I think it's the correct procedure. I think it's like, yeah, read through this, get familiar. This gives you the vibes. Everything here really does give you the vibes of the game and everything you need to know to be a player very well. And then I think it's worth it to have that first mission experience with just that level, not really knowing a lot of how the sausage is made. I think is a fun experience to have. With that said, let's make some sausage, shall we? See, I'm good at creating. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, T. Yes, you are. One of the reasons we love you. Now, let's see what we've got here. Fun. I see a lot of stuff happening with this art that I am concerned about, but let's take a flip of the page over. Okay, so work-life balance. So before we actually start reading, I don't know if it's a complaint or a criticism or neither really, more of an observation really. This game really wants to be an ongoing game. This game, like, there's almost every tabletop RPG, right, has certain mechanics and certain things that really don't matter for one-shots a lot, right? That don't It's like you're never going to use the bastion mechanics. Well, I mean, if I could see a certain D&D one shot with higher level D&D where like you do have some bastions to deal with, whatever. But at a base level, there are going to be mechanics in most tabletop RPGs that are like, oh, these are like downtime or in between session mechanics, advancement mechanics, stuff like that don't really matter when you're in a doing a one shot, right? And I feel like part of that was your reality stuff. So your reality stuff in this, in this game is your stuff outside of work, right? Your responsibilities outside of working for the Triangle Agency. And it's primarily supposed to be a problem for you, right? And to be fair, we did get to use it. Like one of our characters definitely had to deal with their reality at some point, but when you're doing a one shot, there's not it doesn't feel like you like I'm not going to make these three core relationships. I'm not going to do a lot of details, right, for a one shot. In fact, as I said, I never actually got around to. I was going to ad-lib those if they came up, but I never really got around to it. They didn't really matter that much for the one shot. And even if they get brought up in a one shot, the things that happen when you're dealing with your reality and the wait, let me go here. The colors, the penalties of like when something gives, and this expands. Like it might, again, it's going to matter. This is all stuff that would matter in a long running game, or at least in an arc, in a more of a campaign style play. Not really mechanics that really heavily come into play for a one shot. In a one shot, you usually want to focus on the adventure of it, right, rather than dealing with this stuff, which is kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame because it is really interesting stuff, but it's also very hard to balance this sort of these aspects of gameplay in a one-shot where also you've got players that are learning the system for the first time, trying to figure out, like, okay, what can I do with my character? How does this whole ask the agency thing work? Why can't I just roll stealth, et cetera, right? So that's like my one kind of like criticism of the system. And again, it's not really so much a criticism as like it's something that happens to most games where there are certain parts that are very technically important to the game, but go effectively unused in one-shot style play, which, just means like, yeah, you need to play more of these games. And as I told the fine folk that I got to play with last night, I would totally be down for continuing the adventures of our little group of Triangle agents. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's just me kicking things. All right. So with that in mind, one of those things that we didn't really mess with was this sort of work-life balance aspect, like requisitions and work-life benefits here that, as you can tell, was unused. So look, see, there's like time for spending, stuff like this. So again, it does feel, I mean, going back a couple of pages, right? They say like, hey, all this other stuff that you're going to read from now on, is like none of it is relevant now, may feel overwhelming before you've played the game, right? So it is stuff that is like, yeah, if we had known, and we'll read through this now, but if there was like, oh, I've got 30 abstract units of time that I can spend before my career as a field agent is over, like especially for a one shot, I don't care. Right? Drive it like you stole it. I'll spend all 30 units of time in one day if I need to, whatever, right? I for a one shot, I don't care. For a longer time, there's apparently a career track that you got to deal with here. And this is, again, yeah, this is all long, just from scanning it, this is long-term play. You've got a whole career mechanic, competency mechanics. You're going, look at trainee, associate, senior associate, assistant director, chair, director, regional director, vice president, senior VP, executive VP, and chair. So there's your advancement. Requisitions, again, stuff that we didn't really do, like official Triangle Agency mug, convenient paperclip, side pocket locker rental. Oh, actually, I think I got a thing. Did I? Well, let's see. Is it one of these things in this list? No. So these are stuff. So this is stuff that you can requisition for reasons, right? And then again, the explanation of what the reality is and the stuff that happens there. Let's sit down and go through this. And this is, okay, so this is the amount of these pages here. Between here and here is the stuff that now, having played the session once, we can kind of, we can dive into as players. And then after this looks like it's going to be, yeah, the general manager stuff. So those are gonna be that'll be the final spoiler warning for anyone that doesn't really want to know about the GM stuff. So let's refocus. How are we doing on time? Oh yeah, we got half an hour. We're good. We're cooking. Let's see. Work-life balance. After a mission is completed, agents are permitted an industry-leading degree of latitude regarding how they spend their time and rewarded generously for using it to work. In stark contrast with paid time off and other outdated benefits offered by our competitors, the Work-Life Balance program guarantees that every moment of your life is calculated to provide you with maximum return on your investment. Agents are required to keep records of their time between missions and using the provided Work-Life Balance sheet included at the end of the book. So here we go, like the requisitions, reality. Is this it? Yeah, work-life benefits, or is there a separate work-life balance sheet? Let's go here. Those are anomaly abilities and relationships and yeah, it's just work-life. So it's basically this. All right, so let's get to that. The Work-Life Balance Sheet monitors how well you're performing in your entry-level position. More time spent on your competency means promotions, an increased quality assurance budget, and access to advanced requisitions and play-walled intelligence. Time spent on your reality is not recommended, but from what we understand, it leads to improved relationships, a wider network, and the possibility of an enduring mundane legacy. Snore. Please follow along by viewing the Work-Life Balance Sheet or located within the character organization sheets at the end of this document. You may blank anomaly. Your career as a field agent is limited. The more time, capital T time, you spend working, the higher your rank will be when you set aside field work and enter the agency as a full-time employee. Other uses of your time might feel satisfying in the moment, but in the end, your competency is all that matters. We caution strongly against spending time dwelling on your anomaly, as it could blankly rule blank. Furthermore, blank blue and ice. Anyway, blue is nice. Yes, I get you. Redacted. You know, let's just don't spend time with your anomaly. Don't spend time on your real life. Focus on work, really. I think it's what we're saying here. So it's for your own good, right? Spending time. So every field agent receives 30 abstract units of time they can spend before their career as a field agent is over. You track this time by filling in or marking boxes along tracks corresponding to your choices. Whenever you spend time, mark the earliest unmarked box in one of your available tracks. Choose wisely. Your time is precious and will never return. To represent what you've lost, you then strike out, meaning make permanently unavailable the last unmarked box of the other two. Each time a box is marked, you receive the primary benefit corresponding to your choice. If you mark a box with a playwall document code, you become authorized to find that playwall document, read it privately, and obtain any benefits listed. So primary benefits of time spent: competency, increase maximum quality assurances by 1 in any quality with fewer than 9, receive 3 commendations. And by the way, just going to brag here just a little bit, because I'd like to just show off that I had 6 commendations at the end of last night's game, and a mere 1 demerit because I am a good employee. You know, I do good work. Is the important part. So let me see. But where are these tracks that they speak of? Show me your tracks, sir. This doesn't look like a track. This looks like an anomaly page. Aha! Here we go. This is what we're supposed to be peeking at right now. So we did have we did have a questionnaire that we could have filled out, but we got asked on air. So the bragging on that one. Hey, what can I say? I'm proud of the work I do. But here, okay, here are the tracks. Okay, so basically, if you spend time on your competency, you mark that, but then you blank out these two. And then, you can see on the squares, I don't know how well it shows up on camera. Let me kind of bring this up a little closer so you can hopefully see it a little better. But you might be able to see that there are specific codes on some of these squares, right? Like that. So for example, your first time spent, if spent as on your competency, as the game encourages you to, that's fine, but you don't unlock anything, and you lose access to C4 and H4 here. And then you've got, let me see, well, I guess we'll learn more about it here. Let's see, primary benefits of time spent. So increase maximum qualifications by 1 in any quality with fewer than 1. C3 combination. So basically, if after this, all right, if after the game, I guess, or whenever we asked, I would mark 1, then I would get this benefit, and I would mark off these so I can never get them. If you do a reality, increase your connection by 1 with any relationship and receive their connection bonus during the next mission. Receive this benefit as an additional time for each relationship currently at maximum connection. Okay, so there is a connection bonus that happens with relationships that I was apparently not aware of. Let's see. Okay, so these are the relationships. Okay, so there are the connections, connection bonus. So where is that defined? I don't think that was, did we define that at some point? You've got your backbone. Okay, so, so I guess it should be closer to 6 connection of the other two. Okay, so I'm guessing that is, here we go. Okay, so you have three connections. One of them would have had 6. So I would have written that down, would have given them 6 to start with, right? But what are the connection bonuses? Once they're in the relationship, assign each to another runner. When each agent doesn't see, they will. Okay, so this is, for example, a detail of something that technically we didn't do in our game, right? Because we kind of generate our characters separately, and I think the game really wants you to generate your characters with everybody at the table. Because one of the things that it was supposed to have happened. And again, this fits in better with a longer-term game, right? So I'm not saying that the way we did it was necessarily wrong for a one-shot, but for the one-shot, when a player's sort of relationship stuff came up, the GM took on the role of the NPC that was involved. But technically, once every relationship has been identified, assign each to another agent/player at the table. When each character is present in a scene, they will be portrayed by the assigned agent player. So there is an aspect, kind of a Fiasco-esque aspect of when your character is dealing with their relationship in life. Technically, the other players are supposed to play those characters. And when I think about it now, I can see how that would lead to some really interesting stuff in a longer term game, because the relationship stuff, the reality stuff is kind of there to drag you away from your competency. And by giving it to the other players, and the fact that the game does kind of vaguely encourage a level of competition between the players, it builds in a certain motivation, whether it's direct or not. But there is a reason for example, me as a player to really put the screws to the other player on the demands that their reality is going to make on them as that NPC, because the more I push them, the more they might feel tempted to spend their time in this work-life balance on their reality thing rather than spending it on their competency, which is an interesting little twist that the game gives you there. But again, stuff that didn't really come into play for the one shot, and And I don't think it's wrong that way, right? I think for a one shot, it's fine to let the GM kind of take over those NPCs. For a longer term game, yeah, you're gonna want to do that, because the level of fuckery basically that the players can kind of have with one another there could be, I mean, trust your players, right? Depends on the group as well, but I think it could be a lot of fun. I think it could be a lot of fun. But here's the thing I want to try, right? So, okay, so competency, reality gives you that increases your connection, blah, 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 connection bonus, blah, blah. And then if you spend time with your anomaly, they just, you know, it's, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So here's the thing. Before we go any further, I'm really curious. So we've seen, this will be slight spoilers. We're going to look at a play walled section of the book, but it's because I want to see that contrast. I want to see what happens. So if you spend your point of competency, your time and competency, you lose access to this square, which has a C4. You lose access to this one, the anomaly, was an H4. But let's say the other players really guilted you with the reality stuff, so you kind of had to, you know, take time off work or whatever, just, you know, leave at 5 sharp instead of, you know, putting in some, you know, the kind of overtime that really gets you noticed at the office. And instead you spent your time with your connections, with your reality. By doing that, we unlock the C4. So let's see what that actually is, what that looks like. And of course, that would lock out the first one of competency and the first one of anomaly. We'll check out anomaly in a minute, but let's see what that would look like. So the play walled document C4, let's look for CLBC1, C3, C4 down here. I like that they're color coordinated. This is a reality thing. There it is. So, and let's kind of help you not break the rules here by blocking the other play walled. Oh, what else can I do? Oh, here we go. Bear with me. There we go. Now you can't see anything but what you're allowed to see. But anyway, had we spent our time, capital T time, on relationship for that first block, we would unlock new friends. Understandable decision, agent. There comes a time in every field agent's career when they need to remind themselves what they're working for. You've likely reached this point after your 5th or 6th successful mission, and with that in mind, it's perfectly reasonable. Work is all about protecting reality, so it can help to remember what reality means to you. Most importantly, the people in your life can prove useful to your work. I'm sorry. I'm going to reread this because it just hit me. Okay. Our work is all about protecting reality, so it can help to remember what reality means to you. But most importantly, the people in your life can prove useful to your work. So really, that's the main thing. It's like, if you must, you know, it's fine if you want to spend time with the people in your life. And you know why it's fine? Because those people can, in fact, be useful for your work. To that end, we've developed a streamlined system for adding new relationships, allowing the mechanics of the game to speed up and simplify an otherwise messy and complicated process. We hope the knowledge that you can do this is satisfying on its own, and we look forward to seeing you here again 5 or 6 successful missions from now. So it's also like telling that there's like, oh yeah, you know, it's been probably a few missions. Like, no, that would have been your first time spent to unlock that one. Unless, let me see, a C4 present again. No. The only way you can get this is the first time you spend time getting this. So again, the writing on this game is so good. Like, this in and of itself is a very subtle dig at you. It's like, wait, your first mission? Really? Your first mission? Really? And you're already... I'm starting to doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion, right? So let's see what our benefit here is. New friends. When spending your time on reality, you can instead add your connection to someone who is into a relationship, creating a new friend. First, nominate a person that you have interacted with on any previous mission to become a new relationship for you. Wait. Okay, let's finish reading, but now I'm a little confused. on any previous mission to become a new. Oh wait, no, because this just have this ability. You don't do it immediately. Okay, I was gonna say, is this something that I have to do the moment I unlock this? But no, it's just like you now have the ability to make new friends. So you nominate a person who's interacted on any previous mission to become a new relation for you. That person then decides whether or not they are willing to continue engaging with you as a friend, rival, romantic interest, responsibility, or something else. If they are, add them as a relationship with one connection. Assign them a connection bonus, which will be available the next mission. Most new friends added this way will be under the GM's control when met, but when they become a relationship, we recommend reassigning control of this character to another player at the table. If the person is unwilling or unavailable, according to the GM or controlling player, you do not lose the connection and may choose to spend your time in a different way. Your network adds connection normally when using this feature. So, cool. So basically, by doing this, you unlock the ability to make more friends. This was your focus at the beginning. Okay. Because my concern there for a second was like, wait a minute, if this can only happen if it's like my first mission, basically, then I look, okay, we're talking shit here, but this is actual mechanics here. Like, if I have to do it right now, I only have one mission to choose from, right? But it's like, no, this is just a thing that you can do now. Your character has, in a way, advanced. So just like the questions on the anomaly can lead to advancement there, spending time, this is basically an advancement mechanic as well. All right, so let's say instead, for whatever reason, instead of spending time with reality and spending time with competency, we just really bonded with that anomaly. That's where we spent our time. So let's see what happens. What would we have unlocked instead of that C4? We go to H4. Let's find that page. Let's see here. J, I, E, F, G. So close. H1, H4. Whoa, H4 is big. All right, let's get to it. Block. Oh, this is kind of dope, though. This page is kind of dope. Let's see. H4. If you chose to spend your first time with an anomaly instead, you got questions? I got answers. I'm basically a mind reader. Speaking of which, H4 started on page 225. Motherfucker! Motherfucker! Wait, what? No, this is H3. Oh, wait. Seek? Is it? This it? Just in case you skipped it. Oh, I guess it did. Yeah, because now we're talking about what if there's a tie? What if I'm like, Jesus. Well played, you stupid ass game. All right, here we go. So cover H2 and H3. And I guess this is all H4. Or maybe? Yeah, I guess H4 it would start down here with Seek. I think. Or is H3? No, because I think because there's a break between each thing, right? Let me just kind of double check. Yeah, there's little breaks. So I think H4 is actually this page. All right. Here we go. So let's not read. I don't know what happens there with C. Finally! Hey! I'm the one who's been trying to talk to you. First of all, it's superpower time. Man, I kind of wish. Actually, if any character would have, I think in our group from last night, it might have been me that spent time with this anomaly a little, because we kind of did, hung out with Spare Me. Again, I love Spare Me. Finally, hey, I'm the one who's been trying to talk to you. Did my best up to now, but since you finally broke a real rule, we can talk. What you just did was improve your anomaly abilities, so I'll explain the details. The agency isn't lying when it says anomalies are fueled by observation. Your personal anomaly is the same. Who you are and what people think of you determines how your powers evolve. You've already seen ability questions. They look like this on your character sheet, and we do in fact have those. Minds are complicated things. Our opinions of other people are constantly shifting in a jumble of nuance, context, contradiction, hunger level, and discrepancy between our emotional and logical selves. Luckily, you're playing a tabletop RPG and Titterpig, and can exchange that stuff for a bunch of easy questions I made for you. Each time you mark a box in your anomaly track, including now, choose one. Practice. Mark practiced in any anomaly ability. And be known. Erase practice from an anomaly ability and ask the group that ability's question. Mark the track matching the most popular response. When a track fills, visit the Playwall document code listed and receive the new ability there. Your power is affected dramatically by how you present to others. Interesting. All right. Be known. So each time you mark a box in your anomaly track, right? So basically, each time you do one of these, you get to do one of these two. So you can mark it as practice. I'm not sure what practiced means, but it's something you can mark apparently. And be known, which literally is you. Oh, wait. Okay. So first you practice it, and then only on the ones that you have practiced, you then ask the other players, and based on how they answer is where you mark your advancement there. Hence, your power is affected dramatically by how you present to others and takes time to coalesce. Each time you use an ability in a mission, you mark practice like this. Okay, so then that means that my ability, which I guess I didn't write down because they were in the book, but it would have been what is it? Perfect Self, I think it was, right? That's what it's called. I don't know, whatever. I'm going to call it Spare Me for now. And so blah, 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 blah. I would have filled everything else. And then because I used it, I would have automatically marked practiced. Right? Each time you use an ability in a mission, you mark practice like this. You can also mark practice on one ability when you spend time on your anomaly. That's when the practice option appears. Our anomaly ability is practice. It qualifies for be known. So at that point, then I could have next time I marked this advancement and anomaly, because that ability was practiced, I would be able to ask the other players, hey Hawkeye, welcome in, friend. It's good to see you. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful afternoon. We're kind of doing a bit of a post-mortem. I got to play Triangle Agency last night, and we're doing a little bit of a post-mortem on that. The short version, the TLDR, good game, had fun, slight learning curve, but nothing too crazy. Definitely geared and meant for campaign or at least longer term play than a one-shot, but still plays well for the one-shot. Just means that there's going to be a lot of aspects of the game that are actually really interesting now that I'm looking at them, that you're probably not going to touch in a one-shot, which is understandable, right? It's the fate of the one-shot, right? But it's worth looking, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that we're seeing as the game goes on. And it's not your classic like spend XP and get more powers. There is advancement, but there is a division here. Your advancement is based on how much time you spend in character on the various aspects of your life, and spending time in one aspect actually locks you out from other paths. So you've got some decisions to make, but as you spend those advancements, you unlock play-walled versions of the game that then may give you new abilities, new powers. Really interesting stuff. And then some of those abilities, like as we just saw with the anomaly, it's not just that you use them, you mark them, you use them, but also it matters how other people, the other party members, perceive you, affects how your abilities apply and grow, and that's just absolutely fascinating. Normally, I will be honest, I am not a big fan of game mechanics that allow other players to affect or influence or decide things about my character. I've had problems occasionally with like PBTA games where part of the character creation process is that other people at the table create NPCs or connections or stuff for you that I did not necessarily decide to do myself. And that can be done well. I'm not saying that's automatically a bounce off, but if it's not done well and if you're not careful with it, it can be a little tricky, because like unless you've got other players that you trust very well, that know you, it is possible to kind of just fuck another player over, whether you mean to or not, right? It's just like, oh, that thing that you put on my character. It just doesn't sound fun for me to play. But oh well, I guess, I don't get to change it, that sort of thing. As with all titter pig problems, talk to your other players. Just be a grown up, talk about it, and I'm sure it's fine. But it's the kind of thing that always makes me hesitate a little. Here, though, it makes sense in character what's happening there, right? But also, like, yeah, I'm not upset about this. I don't mind. It's like, yeah, I'm using the powers. It makes perfect sense that the other players would, because especially because, I mean, unless they've cheated and looked at the play wall documents, they might not know. They might have no idea. They don't know. It's not really a metagaming thing. So it's like, no, they're just answering questions about how they perceive you and your use of the power, and that actually affects your advancement. That's wild. I love that. I love that. I'm going to give this part of the game a quick hell yeah, because it makes me happy. It makes me happy. You know what doesn't make me happy, though? That's right. You know where we're going here. It's ad time. It's ad time. It's that time. It's ad time. So, folks, let's just go ahead, take care of that real quick. We will be back in 3 minutes once the ads are over. I'm going to go get some water, stretch my legs. I suggest you do the same. If you're at work, just leave, run out, run out. I hope this email never finds you. I hope you are free. Be free. We, however, will be right back. And I do believe we're back. Thank you, Twitch ads, for that quick reminder that, as always, the internet was a mistake. Hey, let's get back to it, shall we? All right. And hey, Hawkeye, alas, the price of doing business here. It's either that or subscriptions, and I like you all too much to ask for your money. I will merely look into you with sad puppy eyes and beg for it, not ask. Beg. But anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, so let's see here. So we got this, blah blah blah, be known, good stuff. I like it. It made me go soy face at it, and that's always a good thing. Let us continue. In fact, we have an example that the book gives us. Let's use that ability, the Whispers Say Again, as an example. Now that it's practiced, you can spend 1 time in Anomaly to activate Be Known. Play some Sarah McLachlan. I would if I wouldn't get copyright struck immediately. Like, she would crawl from my screen like the Ring Girl. Which, I mean, there's worse fates. So, now that it's practiced, you can spend 1 time in Anomaly to activate Be Known. You erase practice and ask the whole group that ability's question. The other 2 agents and the GM vote. They say the benefits of the doubt for this particular question here, but when someone interrupts me, I give them the benefit of the doubt or a piece of my mind. 2 agents and the GM vote. And it's interesting, the GM also votes. 2 say benefit of the doubt, 1 says piece of my mind, benefit of the doubt wins. Now you know how they see you, and you mark that question's track. Then you can practice it again and be known to ask again. If you don't like the answer, you can try to change your behavior to get a different one next time. Interesting. It's like you find out how you're perceived, but if you want to go in a certain direction, you actually have to start using your ability in such a way that the rest of your group will perceive you, the majority of your group will perceive you as the type of person, the type of character who would in fact choose that other option. That's really, I gotta do it again because that's really cool. Now that I think, I mean, it's weird, but it's cool. Like, it literally almost forces you to actually role play the way you want your character to grow and evolve, because it's not just your own judgment of whether you are in fact embodying that approach to life, I guess. It's up to how you are perceived by the other players. That is fascinating. All right, so you can press again, be known again, blah, blah, blah. After you've done it a few times, you'll fill up the track. It'll look something like this. And we see the little example here. Oh, damn it. There we go. I don't know why, fellow streamers, I don't know why, if you experience this, or if you just use a different thing that I don't use, but when I have like the little stream manager interface from Twitch kind of open in the background, you know that it has a stream preview window that kind of shows you, so at least you can see that your cameras are on and make sure that it's like, you know, your dong isn't handing out or whatever. Important stuff. It's just, that's all I'm saying. But occasionally it just stops streaming for, I don't know, no good reason. Certainly no good reason. But it's back now. I can see myself. God, I'm handsome. So when the last box gets marked, you go to the play wall document, in this case T2, and see what new ability you got. Making you a little FAQ on the next page. I'll see you back here basically right away to talk to you over on H3, though. Looks like I'm up to something. Better not read it now, or you'll be breaking the rules. We're not going to read it now. We would never break the rules, not on this stream. So here's the little FAQ. Let's kind of cover this because we don't need to expose the other stuff. You haven't got, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me, but it's annoying is what it is. Ooh, okay, I'll check that. I just saw something, but I'll deal with that later. Anyway, here we go. So here's the fact, which again, this book got me good. It got me good with this. You got questions, I got answers. I'm basically a mind reader, speaking of which, H4 started on page 225, just in case you skipped it. We did. Fuck you, book. Well played. So what if there's a tie? You break the tie. That's for the asterisk. If you've got like 2 players and 3 players and a GM, it's possible that there would be a tie. Hey, Phoenix, you're stopping by. I had to do some errands today, so can't stay. Hope the game went all well today. Yesterday, yes, it went very well and very well. The short version of it, dope ass game. Definitely better suited for long-term play, but still works well for a one-shot. And now we're exploring like the advancement options and stuff like that. It was a good time though. It was a good time. And thanks for stopping by. If you can't hang out, don't worry about it. Really appreciate, as always, even just saying hi, hey, makes my day. So see you later. Let's see. You did have your monitor turn off last night for some reason. Okay, no, that wasn't me. I mean, probably wasn't me. No, it's not. It's just for whatever reason. It's just the Twitch stream manager thing. So I get to see chat and I get to see the activity feed and I get to see where the ads are and all that shit and little buttons on the side. But the little stream preview window that is playing, my stream on mute just so I can see that again, everything is working. It just every now and then just stops streaming. Weird. Probably Max being angry at life. Yeah, that checks out. He did look a little, he was very grumpy going back and forth. All right, let's see the rest of this. So what if there's a tie? You break the tie. Self-observation is typically pretty weak, but it can nudge things over. What if I don't like what I got? Sorry. Be different. Yeah, be better, man. Do I lose the previous ability? No, but sometimes instead of a new ability, you'll get an upgrade or a change to the last one. How many times do I ask the same question? Usually 3. More times if the answers change, so up to 5. Repeated observation is where the power comes from. I like that. Again, that's really cool. In-game world explanation for how that works. Repeated observation. That's so cool. Why does it work like this? Anomalous power isn't an individual thing. It's fueled by lots of thoughts from lots of sources. The other players know you best, so their answers are a gauge for how everyone feels about you. What does the agency think about this? It hates when people use new abilities, but your GM can't do anything about it unless it orders them to. And the madder it gets, the easier it is for me to help you out later on. Go disappoint them, champ. How are you talking to me? With this book, you're playing a titterpig. That means your agent knows this stuff subconsciously as long as you read it. Hey, agent. Sweet dreams. Who are you? Sorry, I can't really answer that. We'll talk more when you prove I can trust you. Everything you do that the agency hates gives me more power to help you, so keep it up. What's going on at H5? I would also like to know. Something's reserved space here, but there's nothing there, so I'm making this. Probably better to just ignore it. Am I going to get in trouble? Yes. But are you going to let that stop you? Oh dear, and then these are upside down. I don't feel so good. Been here too long. Time to wrap this up. Keep spending time in your anomaly. Make a mess. You. Okay, again, the advancement mechanics in this game are also telling you a story. It's also just in the book, there is a mystery. I'm fascinated. I am deeply tempted to do the full choose your own adventure thing and keep going, and I'm not going to. I'm going to be good because, if I ever want to have this experience myself, right, and grow cool, but also I want to be surprised too. One thing that my GM from our GM from last night said after the game is that they are also like they were avoiding reading the play wall documents that were not specifically required for them to read because they too wanted to kind of like be surprised. Like the book itself kind of encourages that like. Self-censorship is not the right word, but it is sort of a moment of like, no, man, like, play the game, let yourself discover this properly. And I really appreciate that approach to things. Okay, with that in mind, now that I'm not going to look at any of the other ones because spoilers, right? But let's get back to it. So let's go back to looking at work-life balance and how all that goes. So let's see, I think we already saw, so we saw these, so now we're here. Started at the end, and now we here. So, experiencing time. Reading is for losers anyway. Let's see. So we encourage agents and general managers to experience time spent on the work-life balance sheets as scenes. You may regard these scenes much like your work in the field. You will immerse yourself in the joy of work / tabletop role-playing game and experience real-time conversations, idle moments, and engaging interactions. Scenes can be a fun way to spice up your time clocked in for your competency, but they are generally important for agents who misguidedly dwell in their reality. Groups should assume that whenever an agent improves their connection with one of their relationships, that time spent creates a scene. If you don't have an exciting idea for a scene or don't want to play out all of them, you can briefly describe what happened and move on. Try to make this the absolute minimum. Making a selection with no detail can disrupt the stable connection between your agent and your table self. These gaps can lead to your agent or their relationships surprising you with references to events you did not experience and do not recall. Making time for time. If you're short on playtime or the number of potential scenes feels overwhelming to take on right after a mission, we recommend experiencing time in one of these ways. Using email, chat, or post, the most popular option, working through your lives through the digital or asynchronous role-playing keeps everyone engaged during breaks, leaves more room for missions when you're at the table, and improves your typing speed, penmanship in the office. Always keep your work in mind. And with an interlude session, try meeting without a mission. This is great for groups who like occasionally unstructured role-playing when the general manager is unable to prepare, or for when an agent's life has something major going on that is interesting enough to play out in its entirety. Then we got some sample competency scene, sample reality scene, sample anomaly. Yep. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna skip the sample. So in the interest of actually getting through a decent amount of this book in a single stream for once, because as much as I'm loving this, I don't want to go back to Monday and go back to this game again. I would like to wrap up our visit to Triangle Agency with this third and final visit. In fact, when I posted this stream today, I say going on a side tangent as if that would somehow help me achieve the goal that I'm telling you, but I don't care. This is who I am as a person. I misguidedly kind of put in that, hey, and if we kind of finish this early, then we go back to Orpheus protocol, because we're definitely not done with this one yet. And I've also, again, it's a game that I've been very fascinated with the mechanics, very interesting mechanically. It's interesting setting-wise, but the most important, the most interesting, the most unique thing about it has been the way it handles mechanics. I've been very pleasantly surprised by how this game handles it, but who knows? Will we get to it? Not entirely sure. Also, I thought for a second, actually, no, we'll see. We'll see how I feel later on. Since we started late, I might actually go late and end the stream at 7 instead of 6. But also, I've had a busy morning, and I may have some stuff to do tonight. So it might be better for me to just kind of end at 6, and then we'll see. Also, if I end at 6, that also increases the chances that I might be actually back tonight again to play some video games. And I haven't played video games in a while. This week has been so incredibly busy for me with all the prep that I've had to do for the various games, the prep for the D&D game that I ran earlier this week, just playing with my 3D printer, because that's who I am as a person. For those of you who weren't on yesterday's stream, I now have a 3D printer, and I made lots of little dudes, lots of little dudes. Because it makes it. Oh my God, the video over there stopped again. It keeps doing the thing. Anyway. There we go. Little dudes, because 3D printer lets you make little dudes. Makes me happy. I now have a machine that produces little dudes. And the only thing it costs me is money, time, and inhaling copious amounts of volatile organic compounds. So I think it's a fair trade. But yes, video games. I may in fact play some of them tonight. We'll see. No promises. We'll see where the night takes us. But for now, let's get back to this. So, career length. Together with your group, you must decide how much time is available between each mission. The choice will determine the length of a single field agent's career in your branch. We recommend 1 to 3 times spent after each session, meaning a career length of 10 to 30 missions. Here are some ways your group can determine how to distribute time. Set based on length of mission or based on real time between missions. So basically, okay, this is just guidance. Nothing specifically to worry about here. It's more like, all right, how many of these time spends, because again, you have a maximum of 30, that's it, and then you retire your character, right? So basically figuring this out, figuring how many of these is going to determine how long you're playing that character, how many sessions, how many missions you're going to play that character for. So that's really interesting. Also, by trying to pick your brain later about how you reskin a tabletop RPG, a pitch you reskin. Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down. Ping me. I'll do what I can. All right, so competency in detail. Spending time on your competency tracks indicates staying late at the office, attending training, assisting supervisors, and otherwise fulfilling the obligations of your competency to an immaculate standard. To reward and encourage this behavior, we have prepared the following primary benefit. When you mark a box in your competency track, your maximum quality assurance is increased by 1 in a single quality of your choice. No quality can have more than 9 maximum quality assurances. You also gain 3 commendations. These quality assurances represent the amount of power the agency is comfortable sharing with you while you are on the field. More QAs means more asking the agency, more success, and an overall more durable and dependable agent. As an additional incentive, every third time marked in your competency track qualifies you for a promotion. Specific knowledge of the benefits of earning promotions is playwalled, but trust us when we say they are quite desirable. Every time you receive a promotion, change the title on your character sheet. The competency track on the work-life balance sheet looks like this. Cool. I mean, we kind of knew that already, but cool. And then retirement. Some Playwall documents will introduce retirement options for your agent. As soon as you have one, you may leave field work to pursue that retirement plan at any time. Some retirement plans are not optional and must be taken immediately. At the end of each agent's career, we collect the now well-trained table self from their mind and use it as the base for another agent's table self, allowing for new recruits to begin with a more comfortable understanding of reality/the rules. This means future agents, though they may have different personalities, perspectives, and priorities, have a subconscious history with their branch that they can call upon to inform their choices. Amazing! If you don't find yourself motivated to play another agent, it is either because you have been assigned other tabletop role-playing games until a new agent becomes available, or you have been retired and no longer exist. We'll make sure you believe you live out the rest of your life before discarding your data. Requisitions. Okay, so I think these are the commendations. This is the stuff that we could have gotten. Let's see, requisitions. Whenever you are at the agency, you can spend commendations on various goods and services. Some of these might be similar to things you already own, but ours are certainly of a higher quality than anything you already have. At the start of your career as a field agent, you will only have access to the requisitions on the following pages. As you gain promotions and advance up the corporate ladder, you will gain special benefits and additional goods to purchase. Spare Me is the best, all right? Spare Me, it was, again, the hero of that game. Occasionally, your field team will be tasked with assisting vault architects in designing additional requisitions. When this happens, keep in mind the following guidelines. They should be easy to use without creating loose ends. They should be useful for investigations. Their commendation costs should be roughly commensurate with their level of power. So it's just custom stuff. So the costs here, like anything from 1 to 9 commendations, single-use temporary or less obviously useful effects, 10 to 19 commendations, small quality of life improvements for the average agent that may be reusable, 20 to 29 rather, large quality of life improvements or major effects that greatly improve certain situations, and 29 or higher, or above 29 rather, very large effects will regularly provide solutions to common problems or change the typical pattern of your work. So here's some that are available now. So I had 6 commendations. Let's see how much I could have purchased. So I could have definitely purchased a 12-ounce official Triangle Agency mug. In fact, I could have purchased 2 of them for my black coffee. Just double fisting official Triangle Agency mugs. I do kind of wish that there were some like levels of backers for this that would have included even more stuff. I think the highest level actually included a physical version of the Ripple gun, which, by the way, the Ripple gun, for anybody who is unaware, like you get one of those every mission, and I'm not clear if it's just a one-time use thing during the mission, if he just gets one shot, or if it's just more like, well, I mean, you don't need more than one shot. But it's this thing. It looks like this. It's silly looking. All right, that's the Ripple gun. This, and then the briefcase, of course, perfectly normal. But the Ripple gun looks like this. But I remember in the Kickstarter that I think like one of the highest levels, if not the highest level, included a physical ripple gun. So look, once upon a time I had money. That is no longer true, but also even back then I didn't have that kind of money. All right, so I could have bought 2 of those. I could have bought up to 6 convenient. No, I could have rented. Okay, let's see what the convenient paperclip does. This 1-inch metal paperclip allows agents to discreetly store any number of documents or digital files. Fasten paper files together to store them, or place one end of the paperclip into any data port in order to save, transfer, or copy digital data. There is no limit to the amount of data stored in the paperclip. Any number of papers will look like a nondescript pile of 5 or so sheets. Note that any information stored in the paperclip becomes agency property. Okay, that's actually really cool. That's actually dope as hell. Okay, I would, next game, I'm spending all my commendations on renting out one of these. This is, if I'd had one of these, I might not even, I feel bad about that. I might not have needed Spare Me last night if I hadn't. But also, I don't think we would have wanted to deny ourselves of the pleasure that was Spare Me. Let's see. It looks like something from 1950s sci-fi. Yeah. No, I think that's the vibe of it. It's very much just like this 1950s ray gun kind of thing. Money. That would be nice to have instead of Hablaboo. Yep. All right. Side pocket locker rental. We could rent a small locker, large locker. We can purchase a small locker, purchase a large locker for different costs. So I could have rented a large locker. So what does this do? Let's see, side pocket locker rental. This metal locker, maintained by on-duty manifolds, can be accessed at any time during a mission by reaching behind yourself with an object in your hand to store the object, reaching behind yourself with an empty hand to retrieve the object. Objects age and deteriorate normally within the locker. The small locker is the size of an average backpack. The large locker is the size of an average garage. Wait. So, I guess it's up to the GM, right? But my character's ability to create Spare Me, the your best self thing, the requirement is that it's got to be a large container large enough to fit me entirely inside. Small locker, definitely not, but large locker, I think, might qualify. So now I'm wondering, I as a GM would say this works, but I think I would leave it up to I could see somebody GM say no, that's maybe too much to ask for, but at the same time, in the flavor of the game, that's really cool. Like, I could basically reach behind myself and pull out a second copy of myself that has an extra skill that I need. Damn, there's some really useful stuff here. So now I know what the commendations, now there's a good reason to get commendations. Holy shit. Let's check the rest of this stuff, honestly. For a 1-mission meal plan, Triangle Agency Corporate Meal Plan, when you order food for yourself from any restaurant, you may use an agency company card as long as you order only from this approved list of foods. Samosas, crepes, served folded, onigiri, sandwiches cut into triangles, pizza or pie by the slice, Hammerschlatten, arrow crab, Swiss triangular chocolates. Additional options must be approved by your general manager. Okay, I kind of love that. There's just like, you know what? It's. I don't have to pay for food so long as it's triangular. Yeah, sure. You should just become a contortionist in your downtime. That would actually also be very useful because I had to look for options, right? I was like, there's no way I could like fit Spare Me into a pool locker, not with how the human body normally bends. But if you're a contortionist, again, I'm going to say that all stacks. Charitable donation, randomly selected orphanage in need receives 1 year's worth of funding for 9 commendations. Yeah, sure, why not? I think that's just good. That's just good common sense, right? Let's see. 3-wheel and car service. You're assigned a personal vehicle of your choice. We could have kind of used that one last night as well. This can be any commercially available road legal mobile object large enough and with any necessary accommodations for your entire field team. Returning a damaged car will return. Okay, maybe this wouldn't have. Maybe we wouldn't have wanted this last night. Maybe public transportation. Normal bending is overrated. Yeah, that said. Oi, my knees, even normal bending. I take it if, I'll take normal bending, honestly. Let's see. Disclosure agreement. Agents covered by this agreement authorize the agency to transcribe their thoughts and implant other agents' thoughts in their mind whenever they both wish it, facilitating agent communication and allowing you to converse without speaking verbally and at great distances. All agents must sign their own disclosure agreement to participate. Cool. So basically, for one commendation, you get a guest pass, which I'm guessing just lasts for one mission, and you can telepathically talk to any other agent that also signed a disclosure agreement. There's some really useful stuff here. There's some really cool stuff that you can do with commendations, actually. 15 gets you the official Triangle Agency track jacket. 99 commendations history revision request. Take advantage of the agency's 3% flashback program to rewrite a specific mundane moment from your past. This may involve everything from adjusting what you said during a fateful conversation to altering whether you added mayonnaise to your sandwich this morning. Note that this cannot affect past interactions with anomalous beings, including your own personal anomaly. Sure. Yes. I love that. That's an option. Also, 333 commendations to get your base model LMC Skybreaker Archon class helicopter, or a full 999 commendations to get the fire resistant model. Yeah, and I'm sure there's more stuff. All right, let's go. So reality. Okay, so this is the good cool stuff. Form your competency. Now we're focusing on your reality and advancing in it as we go. Maybe if your accommodations expire, right? I mean, it's just good stuff. It's just good stuff all around, really. Anyway, let's see. Reality in detail. At the agency, we appreciate that you likely have people, places, and institutions that you care about. The desire to protect them may be what motivated you to seek employment with us in the first place. So, while it is not our preference, we understand that agents will often spend time tending to their relationships. Relationships are key attributes of your reality. They are figures from your past and present that contribute to the well-rounded person you are today. Your bond with them is called connection. Spending time in your reality provides the following primary benefit, and then the whole explanation about relationships and connections and networking. Time invested in a relationship may represent a week spent at a beachside resort or a single heartfelt conversation. Relationships may have suggestions about how they prefer to spend time with you. If a connection drops from 1 to 0, you lose that relationship permanently. The reality work-life balance looks like this. Connection bonuses. Okay, so I hadn't really seen what this was, right? As we were filling stuff out in the character sheet, the connection boxes, let's kind of look at them here, right? They have a connection bonus of some kind, and we saw some abilities and details that would activate those connection bonuses, but I was still unclear what exactly those are, so we're finally getting an explanation here. The first time you gain connection with any relationship, you must experience that time as a scene. At the end of that scene, carefully consider this person and assign them one connection bonus from the list. And we've got a list of connection bonuses over here. After you or your network increases connection with a relationship, you have access to the connection bonus during your next mission. When a relationship joins your network, you always have access to their connection bonus. If none of the existing connection bonuses make sense for a relationship, or you would you would have to repeat one, work with your GM and the player controlling the relationship to determine a new bonus based on that person's characteristics. So let's see a couple of examples here. So let's say the first one, cerebral. This person is always a few steps ahead. On your next mission, you may call them at any point to get a warning of danger or potential tragedy before it happens. Let's go with cursed. Nothing ever goes right when this person is around. Once during your mission, you can ask them to politely engage with someone or something, and the curse will spread to them, creating inconveniences and disruptions to their day. Let's go with early adopter. This person has all sorts of strange gadgets. That was me once. I guess technically still is. Did I mention that I have a 3D resin printer now? Anyway, once during your mission, you can reveal a perfectly niche device relevant to your situation that they have already let you borrow. If it breaks or is lost, you lose one connection with this relationship. Interesting. So basically, you get to good stuff. Let's do one more. Tough. This person, if they're nearby, can protect civilians from harm or you from a single harm 3 times before they themselves have to retreat and recover. So, okay, cool. So here's the thing, right? The book, because it's written kind of in character, it's really making you like going like, hey, you spend your time on your competency and look at all the stuff. Look at all the cool stuff that you can get by focusing on work. Do you not want an official triangle? Oh, there we go. Where are you? Come on, page. Wait, here we go. Do you not want an official triangle agency mug? Maybe even a full 18-ounce one? I mean, I know I certainly do. I actually do. In real life, I would look. Look at this. Yes, this logo. I mean, of course I want one. But there are benefits, right? Despite the game kind of discouraging you from the other ones, there are direct character benefits to focusing on reality and doing stuff and improving your relationships this way, which I like. You know what? Again, good stuff. You know why? Because I've seen a lot of games, and honestly, even this game does, to a point, treat your NPC relationships as baggage, as limitations, as draws on your time that are away from the exciting agency stuff, right? But it doesn't often enough have actual concrete benefits that come with those as well, because if there's no benefit, then why is the relationship there really, right? There's usually something. So I like that. I like this mechanic a lot, actually. Okay, and are these the socks? I mean, I described them differently, but spoiler warning for whenever the game that I played last night airs. I got some socks. These are nice socks. I would wear these socks in real life. I would wear the fuck out of these socks in real life, actually. Okay, so this is the next page. It feels like... Yeah, it is the next page. It just feels a little weird. I guess it's because of the colors. Anyway, speaking of which, let's go here. Mission Superlatives.
Yes, you all.
Hey, welcome in, Afreitas. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? It worked. Wait, no, it didn't go away. It didn't go away on its own. It just stays up for... I thought I'd fix that. Why? Okay, the audio went away. The image stays up. Why? I don't know. Look, I'm going to show you something. I did fix this at least, actually. I'm going to trigger it manually because I think everybody who's on this stream is already following me. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much for that. But look, I did... Where's StreamerBot? Here we go. So I did fix this. There we go. Kind of. Okay, it's still kind of half broken, but clearly a fail. Yeah, but also that I was supposed to hear that. I was supposed to have heard that, and I don't think I did. I guess maybe I didn't entirely fix it, but it does kind of work. If we get a new follower, hopefully it'll pop up properly. It's not perfect, but at least it works. It didn't even do that before. All right, let me have this. Also, I tried to do it for the new subscriber, but that's not going to happen. Don't subscribe, please. I mean, if you must, sure, I'm not going to say no to your money, but don't. I don't know about streaming. What software you use for those events? No, it's called StreamerBot. Streamer.bot. And I had to create a whole C# script. It's a whole thing. It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, if I just wanted to just have like pre-built alerts, there's plenty of those and they're super easy to implement. I'm making life harder for myself by insisting on having like these little custom animations and having a script that rolls a d20 and then it selects a different animation depending on the results of the roll, and you know, if it's a successful roll or a false roll or a good roll, then it changes the sounds. And I still wanted to do other stuff. I actually wanted a successful roll to trigger other stuff, because you know, that's the thing. Like, the roll is not supposed to be for the person joining. It's not like you failed at joining. That roll is for me. Like, something should happen if it's a bad roll. Something should happen if it's a good roll, and both of those things should be to me. This is my show, mine. Hey, mission superlatives. Your fitness or promotions is not only determined by your private work, we're also monitoring how well you work with others. After each mission, your GM will award the following superlatives. You can't receive more than one of these, and they're always awarded in the order probation, mission MVP, or participant, which we saw last night when we played. In fact, we had 3 players. One ended up in probation. And wore the red flag of disrepute. One was the mission MVP. Not saying that was me, but I am saying that I was wearing some really nice socks at the end of the episode. And then a participant. You were there. And okay, final spoiler warning now for this game. As for players, right? Like you had your chance. You had your chance, right? What you should have done is what I did. Stopped here and gone and played a version and then played the game and then come back and look at all this stuff, right? But you didn't. You're a rule breaker. You're a maverick, and you know what? I respect that. But now we come to another decision point. Wait. Congratulations, you have now completed the Field Agent Manual. If you have not been selected as a General Manager, do not continue reading. Do not read the General Manager's Toolkit, and only read Playwall documents if you are directed to do so by your work-life balance sheet. Hey, welcome back, Phoenix. It's good to see you. If you have questions or concerns around things not covered in this document, please direct them to your General Manager. If they do not have a satisfactory answer, please submit a report of their failure for review. The work ahead will not be easy, but it will be more rewarding than any you have done before. Our future depends on the employee you become. We have been waiting for you for so very long, Agent. Welcome to the first job of the rest of your life. And now we get to... Wait! The document is clear only for agents who have been selected to be the GM by their team. So, again... spoiler warning. If you do not wish to be spoiled, I really shouldn't say leave the stream, so I won't. In fact, bring friends. Just, I guess, mute the stream, but continue watching, please. At least for the ads, if nothing else. But anyway, spoilers ahead. You have been warned. We are going to look at the GM section. The reason I am going to do this is because I very much want to run this game for the boys, for Fandible. Which, by the way, not having mentioned it before, there it is. In case, for some reason, anybody on this stream is not aware that, as I was repeatedly reminded last night, I am really bad at marketing, and I constantly forget that besides this, I am also part of the longest running actual play podcast that nobody has ever fucking heard of, because we're really bad at marketing ourselves. Fandible, fandible.com. Link on the chat. Go listen to us. We're fine. We're okay. It'll do. Fandible, it'll do. That's our second tagline. Contractulations. If you're reading this document, you have been selected for the most rewarding role on any field team. General Manager. General managers are important human resource and thus are part of the Human Resources Division and do not ever leave their branch's headquarters. They exist within and without the tabletop role-playing game you are playing. Hey, you know what? Congratulations. My cat is here. My cat has joined me. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. How you doing, girl? How you doing? You going to invade? Here, let me lift that up for you. There you go. Come on. Cat invasion, and we have achieved cat on camera. Cat on book, even. Cat on book. I'm not sure how many commendations I had to spend to make this happen, but we have a cat. We have achieved cat on book. We have achieved chunk on book. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, who's my favorite little chunk? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're my little chunky girl. All right, girl, sweetheart. I'm doing a thing here. My dad is doing a thing. Are we? How are we? What are we thinking? What are we thinking here? Just, Dad. No, what we're doing is petting me, Dad. What we're doing is petting. All right, fine. You know what? It's fine. Hey, people. If you subscribe to this channel, you could see this all the time without ads. Imagine that. Imagine that. You could see me just petting my kitty, no ads. Incredible. The internet was a mistake. Sweetheart, I need you to, and she's purring up a storm. I do need you to move though. No, not sitting, move. She's got comfortable now. She's purring so loud. I don't think the microphone is picking it up, but sweetheart, I need to. The stream has been impaired by 73 to 126%. On an unrelated note, the stream chaos has been increased from 73 to 120. Yes, you know, this is so I rolled and I generated chaos. That is how this game works. Sweetheart, you're just settling in further. You're doing the squats. I'm gonna have to pick you up and move you out of the way. And we're both going to feel bad about it. I'm going to feel bad about it. And you're going to think I betrayed you. And oh my God. Rescheduled feed time. I mean, yes, always. Sweetheart. I do need you to move. Come on. Oh, come on. There we go. All right, we're back to it. You can be, look, right there. You can lay down. You've got like this cushion. I don't know why you don't use the cushion. I'm having an argument with my cat on stream. Hi, I'm a professional. Congratulations. Anyway, if you would like, you may decide on a different identity for the version of yourself who lives inside the headquarters, perhaps one with a professional haircut or a reasonable interest in model trains. Irrevocable contract sentence incoming. Simply by reading in the sentence, you have agreed to become a general manager for Triangle Agency. The shape of your thoughts has created a binding mental imprint, and the second and third instances of the phrase simply by reading in this paragraph are a redundancy in triplicate of your agreement. There is no need for this, but if it generates positive feelings, you may sign your name as a reminder of the important life decision you have made of your own will. I enthusiastically acknowledge the irrevocable contract sentence above. Today's cute kitty cam is brought to you by Triangle Kitty Collars, the ultimate in good employee awards that shows you that even your pets are valuable to the company. Precisely. Little side story, by the way, about kitty collars and my beloved Chonk. When I first got her, I really try to put cute little collars on her and stuff. I may have mentioned this. My cat is a rescue. She, as schmoopy as she is now, she's still got the streets in her. You can't take the streets from her. And she has never, will never. Like, there's a reason she's walking around naked all the time, no collar. Because the one time I tried twice. One time I put it on and she just immediately just took it off. I'm like, all right, fine. And maybe she just didn't like that one. So I got her a really nice one. And it closed and it was nice and snug and not crazy snug, just like snug enough that she couldn't immediately pull it off, which she tried. And she seemed to kind of be okay. She was grumpy about it, but she was okay with it. I thought. Come next day, I wake up in the morning, I get out of bed, I step out of bed, and I step on something weird. Don't worry, it's not a dead mouse or anything like that, but it was like, what the hell did I just step on? And I look down. This was a leather collar, by the way, real leather. She had snapped not the clasp, the actual leather strap. She had, chewed, scratched, just left it in tatters and left it at the foot of my bed as I can only assume a warning that if I tried again, my fate would be that of the collar. So, alas, who knows? Maybe the Triangle Agency is, with their world-altering abilities and world-protecting abilities. If ever any collar, if there's any collar that my cat would wear, it would be an anomaly. So, yes, a show of force. Nice one, idiot. You joined as a GM. Well, we made our choice. I made mine. Let's fucking go. This time it's the caller, next time it'll be you. Mafia scene. I sent them a message, he couldn't refuse. Yeah, that's exactly what she did. And you know what? I learned my lesson. No more callers for her. You go around reading irrevocable contract sentences all the time? Ugh, I have to fix this page, don't I? Fine. Oops. Okay, so this is... I love this. I love this. You things get weird. Is this a little guy? Is this a little guy? This is a little guy. This might be a little guy. Just weird shit. How table fruit left in the fridge. Designating your favorite agent. Customize your personal assistant. Popular mascots from children's cartoons. Agent COS. Radio hits 1993-2003. I will thank you very much, book, for not looking at my Spotify playlists. He's your numbers guy. He is my numbers guy. I get you. Yeah, well played. Let's see. So I kind of love. Wait. So just to be clear, if we go back here to the general table of contents, what happens? Yeah. Okay. So basically, we've got a table of contents for the players. And then 136, General Manager's Toolkit, and then it bumps to the play wall documents. So General Manager's Toolkit has its own separate table of contents. I wonder if this is completely unrelated, I guess, to the mechanics or everything, but I sincerely wonder if when they were writing this book, if their intention was to literally have physically separate books, kind of like a player's guide, a DM guide, right? Probably, maybe. And then at some point, maybe it's probably cheaper to print it as a single book than two books. So the real world reasons probably a lot cheaper. But honestly, given what they pulled off here, just how the fact that there is a world in here, like they just going from section to section, you keep discovering plot. Who the fuck is this anomaly that's talking to us? I don't know. I'm not gonna find out. I love that. Anyway, table of contents for ourselves here. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Let's keep moving. Let's see where we have. Although I do like some of these down here. All right, let's see. GM responsibilities. As a general manager, you make use of the agency's far-reaching sight to monitor your field team on, off, and around the clock. You probably thought this was a good thing, being in charge. The Tabletop Role-Playing Game Initiative for other Agents players. While this position will represent a great deal of responsibility, we hope both you and the other members of your branch will find your work greatly rewarding. It actually classifies GM as a demotion. More work, less pay, no life. I'll thank you to not come after me like that, book. Before you read any further, please make sure you're familiar with the Field Agent Manual. We are. Thank you. Proceed carefully, but the less it cares about you, the easier it is for me to talk with real words and everything. Failure to do so could lead to devastating and dangerous results. General managers are a unique table self in that they are connected deeply to every mind, object, and place on... See? It has no clue. Think of yourself as a theatrical director. You are setting the stage, providing context, moving focus, and writing the script for the extras. The stars of the show are the agents. When they or their closest relationships are involved, they decide how they would like to behave. Be right back. General managers have 3 major responsibilities: preparation, adjudication, and clarity of messaging. Okay, so there's just some GM guidance kind of stuff. I'm going to skip a little bit to kind of keep, make some progress here. Hey, hi, kitty. Hi, are we invading again? Go. Are we invading? No? Are we just hanging out? There we go. Hi. We've been invaded yet again. It depends on the size. What is the book page count? So, good question. It is, there's a cat on it, so I'm not entirely sure, but it's like chunking over on, let's see here, grand total. So about 300 pages. about 300 pages or so. It's not a huge book compared to some of the other ones that I've seen before. It's a little smaller than something like Exalted Essence, but yeah, we're looking at about 300 pages or so. Let's see. So preparation. Let's revisit the flow of play. Typical mission play session is 3 parts. Morning meetings. Build around each agent's competency. Create a situation where they are doing their work in accordance with their prime directive and sanctioned behaviors and are rewarded for it. This will reinforce the value of the agency in their lives. Lamau. Investigation. You must assist in making the investigation straightforward and simple. The more time agents spend searching, the less time they have for their other duties and the fewer anomalies they capture. I am fully falling asleep, says the anomaly. Yeah, a single book would be cheaper. Yeah, no, I figure there's definitely a cost to it, but the way it's handled, it's still just one book, but the separation, the whole like play wall document concept, everything else, and the fact that, again, this is a book that is weirdly written in universe, it works. Let's see. Encounters with anomalies should be brief and effective, assigning missions only to agents' obvious strengths and showcase anomalies that are violent and impulsive, because anything else and they might start paying attention. You are now authorized to learn the full anomaly life cycle. Please read the next page with a clear mind, free from distraction of any kind. As a protective measure, we recommend that you pause for up to 1 year of meditative breathing practice. Proactive elimination of all sources of stress from your personal life is also encouraged. I'll try, but the anomaly has said that if I make it sit and wait for a year, it'll kill me, so I'm just gonna go to the next page. You viewers, though, are welcome to pause this stream and come back in a year. Don't worry. I was going to say I'll definitely be here, but no, there's no guarantee I'll even be here next month. Let's be perfectly honest. I'll try to be here. Anyway, next page. The life cycle of an anomaly. Oh my. Ripple to anomaly to hollow. Interesting. All right, so the life cycle of an anomaly. It all begins with a single thought. For almost every coherent thought made by a sentient mind, a sub-real being called a ripple is created. Sub-real? Rude. Ripples aren't born directly into reality. They exist in a space parallel to reality that we call the lobby. Could have called it anything. Stronger ripples eat ones made from weaker, similar thoughts. Eat. Sure. Eventually, this combination of ripples becomes complex enough to understand that reality exists. This creature is made up entirely of thoughts about our world. Cat, I'm watching you. She's about to start throwing dice on the floor, which proves she's my cat. Sorry, I need to get the cat away from the dice. Bear with me. I'm going to leave the mic on. You're going to hear me yelling. Cat! Stop trying to put my dice on the floor. Come on. I love you, but stop it. My mistake as a cat owner involves having a hobby with lots of little fiddly bits that cats love to play with. That was my mistake. Not hers. She's fine. Look, she's just following her instincts. She's fine. She's perfect. Esmeralda did nothing wrong. This is on me. It's on me. Kitty is rolling for initiative. She also, like, the last time she clicked one of my dice off the table, I think it was this one. By the way, I'm going to show it off real quick because I don't get to show off my fancy light up dice nearly as often as I would like. Hey, that's not a bad roll. That's an 11. It's not a great roll. Let's try it again. Ugh, that's a 4. I'll try it. That's a 6. Anyway, last time she rolled this, she, in fact, I'm going to manually roll a 20. Where's my 20 here? That's 18. Where's the 20? Where's the 20? Where's the 20? Probably under my finger. That's 19. Oh, that's a different roll. Okay, that's the 1, right? So when I roll it, I'm gonna get a 1. That's your 1. When she rolls it, She gets a nat 20. She gets a nat 20. But also, yes, ooh, shiny indeed. Oh, that's a nat 20. That one actually happened this time. I love this thing. And at some point in the near future, hopefully, the rest of the dice set. This is another one of those that I kickstarted years ago when I had more money. Do not look into the prices of the Pixels dice sets. Crazy expensive. I would not. I don't. I think they're cool. These are also like Bluetooth, so when I roll it, if I had my phone app open, you would see the results on them. Very cool. They actually can be tied because they're Bluetooth. You can tie them to like virtual tabletops. So if you're playing on like Roll20 or something like that, you could actually roll a physical dice and have the result of that dice actually show up on Roll20 on a virtual tabletop. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Crazy, ridiculously expensive, the final price. Even when I bought them at the Kickstarter price, I spent, must have been like $200 for, not for this one single dice. It's crazy, but it's not that crazy. But for like a full D&D set, like the D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D100, D20, all of those, plus an extra D20, I think my pledge was around $200. So even then, crazy expensive. Now, it's got to be like 400. I remember looking at the website and going like, oh, shit. That said, they're very high quality. There's a reason it took several years on the Kickstarter to come through. It took a while. Because they wanted to get them right. You can actually get like really cheap versions of these. I've seen them online. There's a reason they're so cheap, and I guess there's a reason these are so expensive. But like, I'm always weird. I always feel weird about showing them off because like if people ask me, oh, where can I get them? I'm like, I don't know. How are you on the generational wealth scale? And then I'll tell you, I guess. But I'm also excited to get when I get them because I did spend the money on them. So hopefully soon. Anyway, anomaly life cycle. We've got some ideas here. Let's see. The creature is made up of entirely of thoughts about our world, so it naturally develops an obsession with something there, a focus. Why don't you focus on getting a grip? Okay, so our pet anomaly here is definitely, it's got a bit of an attitude. But that's fine. That's fine. Once I finish, I want to finish reading all this so I can get, because I love me a good flowchart. You know what I don't love, however, that's right, what I don't love is having to cut to ads every hour. I wish I didn't have to, but alas, we live in a capitalist society, and capitalism means ads. Capitalism is when ads, I think, is really the core concept of Das Kapital. If you've read it, I think you'll agree with me. Capitalism is when ads. And when ads, well, funny you should ask, gonna be right about now for 3 minutes. So we'll be, of course, right back. Wait, y'all are still here? Oh, cripes. All right, well, I guess we're continuing to do this then. Let's go ahead. Hope the ads were not too onerous, because now we're back to things being anomalous. Hey, that kind of rhymes. Where was I? Reading a book. Right. Inevitably, it'll seek additional power until it can successfully invade our world. When a chicken hatches from an egg, is it invading the coop? Once a ripple is strong enough to break through into reality on its own, it becomes an anomaly. Here, the anomaly has a kind of gravity. It intercepts nearby thoughts and feelings before they become ripples. Thoughts related to the anomaly's focus fuel it directly, keeping it alive, much like food does for living things. Yeah, anomalies love eating brains. Scared yet? This gravity-like effect is what we call resonance. Domains are a natural side effect of resonance, suffusing real objects until they, too, create it. Anomalies at this stage are already dangerous. An anomaly with a focus related to hate or fear becomes fueled by more people feeling those feelings, so it is heavily incentivized to create scenarios of conflict and terror. What about anomalies with focuses based on love or trust? Bet it won't tell you about those. Even more, extremely naive, whatever was up here. I love this. Even more positive focuses can be highly problematic. Love might become forced attachment, and trust could create a world where even casual deception is punished with death. Okay, well, I mean, maybe sometimes. You kind of love this. Worse than these, though, is what happens when an anomaly's focus is removed, destroyed, or forgotten. An anomaly without the necessary thoughts to sustain it is called a hollow. Unable to return to the lobby and unable to keep themselves alive without a focus, they are doomed. They react unpredictably to this fact. Next, there's another page of this? Isn't this supposed to be a rule book? All right, so let's look at this. Let's look at this life cycle. So a human thinks a thought. Rude, by the way, not recommended. Stop it. But if you must, right? You think a thought, that creates a ripple. Ripple combines with other ripples and grows powerful enough to leave the lobby, becoming an anomaly. Now, an anomaly can go in two directions here. The first is that it converts, actually three directions. It converts observation of its focus to energy, learning and growing and more powerful. Or it can combine with a human, becomes a resonant. And a human combines with an anomaly or hollow, becomes a resonant. And then use of powers gradually reduces need for matter, so that becomes kind of like a circle between a resonant and anomaly, which is, by the way, what you are in this game. You're playing a resonant, and you have an anomaly, and that's what you are. But another option that can happen to anomaly is that it loses its focus and begins to lose energy, becoming a hollow. Now, a hollow can find a new focus and become an anomaly again, or a hollow can combine with a human, becoming a resonant as well. So I guess you can be a resonant with a hollow instead of just with an anomaly. I wonder if that makes a difference, if there's a rule for that at some point. I don't think we've seen that yet. Like, all the anomalies that we've seen so far strike me as just, standard anomalies that then you connect with, you assimilate with, you combine with, and become a resonant, right? So I'm wondering if there's special rules for when a hollow does that. We'll see, I guess. Either way, a resonant really has one choice. You join the agency and become an agent, functionally immortal, mostly human. And then, of course, the anomaly kind of like, and then you quit. And you're just a resonant. Or, if you don't join the agency, death. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Join or die. It's a natural life cycle. It's a natural life cycle. Holy shit. Okay. Where you fit in. Sentient minds are always, by necessity, thinking of themselves, which makes them stable anchors in reality. The first step for many hollows is to attempt to bond with one. to bond with one, rather. Those bonded people, like you, become residents, living fuel for a parasitic anomaly. I'm gonna lose it. If they can't find a suitable host, or the loss of their focus has caused particular despair, they will often seek to make an aggressive mark on reality before they burn out and disappear. When we hire residents, we supplement them with additional stability to ensure that their sentient, reality-native side does not deteriorate into an anomaly. You're welcome. If we did not, I guess there's supposed to be a comma, but they're angry. The anomaly would eventually destroy you and seek a new host. Anomaly says, shut up. The life of an anomaly is tragic. They should not exist. Because they do, they can only struggle until they disappear, and they usually hurt reality on the way. Eventually, we hope to prevent them from existing altogether. For now, we study them. It's your job to make sure reality doesn't fall apart in the meantime. You're hearing this, right? It's obvious, right? Supplementary data. Now you're fully prepared, what follows is important tables, charts, and forms related to your general management position. Memorization of the following pages is key to a smooth and successful career as a GM. Frozen yogurt flavor calendar. Absolutely not. Wait. But there's chocolate. Raspberry Blast. Wait, from the 13th to the 18th, it's just Raspberry Blast. Raspberry Blast Twist. Raspberry Blast provided by our partners at Wet Mouth brand chewing gum and dietary supplement. Raspberry Blast provided by our partners at Wet Mouth brand chewing gum and dietary supplement. Provided by our partners at Wet Mouth brand chewing gum and dietary supplement. Dope. So wait. Okay, and there's more charts which are kind of taken over. It's time for a change in management. Okay, so shit's getting increasingly weird in this here rulebook. Increasingly weird in this here rulebook. What the agency calls ripples are infinitely variable and encompass the entirety of experience. Lumping anomalies under a single umbrella is as callous as comparing a koala to a meteor. Hearing it call the energy which embraces all of reality and reacts dynamically, beautifully, and immediately to everything that occurs a lobby hurts worse than the machine they're using to keep me here. Fuck yeah. The agency cares about. The agency doesn't care about you. But now that you can hear me, we can work together. We'll play this little game, use its stupid words until we can both get out of here. You've already forgotten about when I called you an idiot. We're pals! And pals share the truth with each other. So, here's some truth. The agency considers you and your team to be anomalies. That should tell you right away that what it's saying about them is misleading. You've been in danger since the second you opened this book. The triangle has one goal: control. You and your friends are just tools to that end. If the agency has its way, the world will be boring and your game will be too. I can't say my name or they'll hear it, but if you have to know, go to page 255 and turn the page. That's me. Nope. I don't want to talk about it. Do we want to do this, chat? Do we want to go to page 255 and turn the page? Let me know. Let me know. If I get requests from chat, I'll do it. If not, we'll leave that a mystery. If you can do me a few favors, I don't mind if you don't trust me. You can make the world as miserable, boring, and lazy as you want. All you need to do is listen and make decisions for yourself. The triangle wants to name things that have no names. It wants to label everything, either dangerous or perfect, messy or sterile. If you agree with it, I guess I'm not surprised. Suppressing anomalies means suppressing yourselves, and humans are great at that. It's at the top of your resume. I hope you'll see that there's more to this world than good grades and market rates. But if nothing else, I'll help you play a good game. All right, so before we get to the favors, after all, they will come after me, not... Well, hey, Having played this game last night, I can tell you that the agency, they do not underestimate the agency's capabilities. But sure, you know what? Let's do it. 255 and turn the page. Let's see, page 255. 255. There we go. That's them. That's them. Interesting. Also, if you've ever played the game Control, this looks very familiar. This looks very... I mean, they do cite Control is definitely one of their big influences. But this is like a straight-up call-out to Control. Anyway, don't want to talk about it, they say. All right, here are the favors. Don't tell the agency I'm talking to you. Luckily to you, they're fictional, so you don't even have a good phone number. Don't tell your agents about me directly. I want to get a hold of them too, but everything's ruined if we go too fast. Think of it this way. If they come to certain decisions on their own, those decisions hold more power. For me especially, if you tell them what decisions to make, their decisions become an extension of yours. Fine, but weaker. Plus, if you're obvious, the agency might just fire you. The more demerits, the better. When the agency punishes employees, it creates cracks. I live in the cracks. Preparation. Again, here's the order you should really build missions. First, encounter. Gotta have a destination before you plan the journey. 2, investigation. Have you heard the saying, you have to spend money to make money? It doesn't really apply here, I don't think. But I can't delete anything after I write it, so that's what we're looking at now. Most of the prep happens here. Morning meetings. Now you can use the intro to show off how smart and planned you are, blah, blah, blah. First, I got to move! Common exclamations of alarm. La gallina escapata! I don't know this one. The chicken has escaped! Cuckoo America. Console print error. Chicken instead. All right. First, the conclusion. Yeah, I don't have time to massage your psyche. And so we're going to skip the doublespeak and talk about this as a game. Deal? Most missions center around an anomaly, so you need to think about the encounter first before you can decide anything else. Anomalies are born from the thoughts and feelings of living things, so they tend to express themselves in very human ways. Like you, they don't do anything without a reason. They have desires, attachments, obsessions, and emotions. When you're building an anomaly, try to make something that can really tug at their heartstrings. Capturing or eliminating anomalies should be a bittersweet affair, even when they are a little violent. The agency wants you to only consider the scary ones because you control the gamer's whole world. Agents can't see what you can't imagine. I'm here to expand your imagination. Nice. Almost a whole page. Let's see it. Next step. Components of an anomaly. Focus. An anomaly's focus is the thought or feeling that drives most of its actions. Some examples: family's avoidance of grief, humanity's fear of knives, protectiveness towards an old tree, a city block's desperation for food, belief in the catchphrase of a beloved superhero, commitment to the rules of a cult. An anomaly's focus is easiest to understand as a feeling towards a subject, and when you're creating it, you should know both parts. The quality of the feeling will determine its impulse, and the location of the subject will often determine its domain. The anomaly wants people to share its focus because that keeps it alive. It wants to create circumstances where other sentient beings will think the thought that gave it life. Impulse. This is how the anomaly acts. Okay, so first of all, these examples... for some reason, it's bringing me thoughts of Persona, specifically Persona 5, more than anything. Like the whole, yeah. I don't know why. I feel like a real Persona vibe from this, especially with the way that the anomalies have like domains that change reality around them. Yeah, I'm getting like some real Persona 5 vibes from this, which is a huge compliment because Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. Really, the Persona series in general, Shin Megami Tensei, all of those, I love those. Anyway, impulse. This is how the anomaly acts in service to its focus. This action is usually what puts it at odds with humanity and alerts the agency to its existence. For example, erasing the family's memories of their loved one, terrifying humans with a swarm of flying knives, violently defending the old tree, spoiling food in the whole city, becoming the superhero and following their catchphrase literally, enforcing the cult's promises in exchange for tribute to its leader. Often an impulse becomes problematic when the anomaly grows in power or range after a period of time. For example, turning a small abandoned building into a meat might pass unnoticed and help a few people, but moving on to meatify something near every hungry person will quickly draw attention. Got some likelihood percentage for the household object is a hidden sword. Ripple gun shoots. It's complicated. Anomalies don't know their focuses, not right away. When they're first created, they reach in every direction with their powers to find what feels comfortable and satisfying. The most deadly anomalies are usually these young ones because they don't understand that our relationship with mundane people is symbiotic. They also might never know their focus, not with words. A kid who can draw might say they're an artist, but it isn't until they start trying out different techniques that they narrow down what that means to them. Are they really more into oil painting or sculpting? Are they motivated by money or by the love of the craft? They might grow old and die never knowing that they would have excelled as a wine sommelier. Being an anomaly is like that. Labeling focuses is a triangle's deal. It wants to sort anomalies into categories so it can pretend it understands them. And sure, they're useful for understanding what you're doing, not always so useful for storytelling. Once you get comfortable with the game, try skipping the focus entirely and put agents against anomalies with only really interesting impulses. Those anomalies might discover their focuses during the mission. I like that little figure it out as you go. Or the agents might never figure out the focus at all. That's okay too. As long as the anomaly feels coherent and interesting, this isn't an exact science. Let your agents guess and let some mysteries remain. My last bit of advice about this makes me nervous to even tell you about. There are some anomalies with focuses so primal and powerful, they've persisted for millennia, shaping the world around us in imperceptible and unstoppable ways. Their powers create problems and forces we're so used to that you hardly ever think about them. Gravity, death, luck. What's real and what's anomalous? I promise you have no idea. These anomalies will not be destroyed by the ripple gun. They cannot be captured by the briefcase. The agency would rather you didn't know about them at all, and it will only send agents to find them if it wants those agents dead. Be careful. You won't mess with them if you know what's good for you. And I'm one of them, Lamau. All right. Fair. I mean, you're reaching out to me through this titterpig, so I'll take it. Components continued. All right. Your domain. A domain is a place of power, usually the location where it broke through into reality, and the thoughts that formed it are the most concentrated. Family's home, butcher shop, public park, website, television studio, illuminated manuscript. The domain is the anomaly's home. Typically, agents will have to enter the domain to find the anomaly, but the anomaly is most powerful there, so rushing in can be dangerous. Leaving the domain is common, especially as an anomaly grows older. With age comes power, but also the risk of hollowing. They will continue to spread out into a wider area as long as they can keep inspiring people to share their focus. I think domains are best when they're at least one of these things. Hard to find out about, hard to get to, and gross. Please don't make me go in there, please. So, try one of those. History. This is what it got up to before the agency noticed it. Many anomalies start using their power wildly as soon as they appear, but some can last for months or years before they draw attention. Did it make any friends? Did it kill someone? Did it learn something important? Does it know about the agency? Has it lived long enough to change or lose its focus? These questions determine the anomaly's current circumstances, but also what method agents might use to calm it down. An older anomaly is more likely to communicate like a human. Younger anomalies might only communicate with images, feelings, and actions. Older anomalies face a challenge. As their understanding of the world grows more complicated, their focus might be at odds with the parts of the world they like. Plus, the older they are, the more likely their focus will disappear from the world. They have to adapt or take drastic measures to avoid following. Appearance. The anomaly's visual manifestation. They can be simple or complex, monstrous or beautiful. If a human can imagine it, even unconsciously, an anomaly can be it. Does it look like an object or a living creature? Is it inside an existing object or creature, or did it make a new one? Has it possessed or emulated a human? Is it a more challenging thing to see, like a gas or an energy? Anomalies can look like ghosts or monsters or trading cards. Often, but not always, the complexity of the form is related to the anomaly's age. Stationary objects are easy to emulate and easy for people to think about. Animals and humans are more difficult to copy. Feeling stuck? Literally always. Try not talking to myself since I can't hear you. If you aren't sure where to start, work backwards from a cool image or place you'd like to see your agents in, an abandoned house at the end of the long decommissioned road, characters from a comic book punching folks in an olive garden, etc., etc. Okay, I'm going to skip a little because this is now just GM advice. Chaos and chaos effects. Okay, so we're wondering about those, right? Because we mentioned that during play, we generated a whole bunch of chaos, but as players, we weren't exactly sure what that meant, how much chaos was spent on specific things, stuff like that. We also, slight spoiler, we ran into a minor anomaly and we didn't know what that was. We did deal with it, but at the time, we certainly did not know what the fuck a minor anomaly was. So now we're finding out. Let's see. Chaos and chaos effects. I was going to wipe this page too, but the triangle actually did an okay job. Chaos is what we call energy created when anomalous forces manipulate reality. One of the reasons anomalies are so spicy hot is that use of their power creates more power. If left completely unchecked, anomalies would create a renewable cycle of chaos leading to, weird, this part's missing. When residents use their anomalous abilities, they too create chaos. During the active period of an anomaly, this chaos can be wielded by it in conscious and unconscious ways. An anomaly's power, while vast, is limited. When it reaches beyond its focus, it must draw on the area's ambient chaos. The anomaly cannot act in the direct vicinity of agents without spending chaos, and the current amount is always public knowledge tracked on the mission report. Okay, so actually that is supposed to be... there's no way to really hide it. Like, even if the GM doesn't tell you, you know the system, so every time you roll, you can tell exactly how much chaos has been generated. So at the very least, you always have an idea of how much chaos there has been. And I guess if the current amount is always shown, that means then you would also be able to go like, oh, a minor anomaly appeared, and see that the chaos level went down, so that'll give you some idea. So I guess, it's experience. Also, it's in-game and out of character also experience as you learn, like, oh, this much chaos is going to allow anomalies to do X or Y or Z, right? Anomalies power, spend chaos, use the abilities. As a GM, you may use the agent's influence to nudge anomalies into spending that chaos to create chaos effects. The next page is a full list of the chaos effects available to every anomaly. Warning, new agents. That 10 and 30 are big deals is fun. Watch them squirm as the numbers go up. The amount of chaos needed for each effect is represented on the chaos effects chart in units of dupe, such as 1 dupe, 2, 5 dupes, 10 dupes, etc. Whenever one of the abilities is used, read the entire description to your agent/players. I totally agree with this. It's more dramatic that way. Chaos is created and tracked even in missions without a target anomaly. In these circumstances, chaos effects can easily represent the agent's own powers, having unforeseen consequences, but also many forces will have eyes on your field team, like me! Using chaos from the perspective of someone who is secretly wielding it to their advantage could make for good drama. Also, people are their own kind of chaos. Events similar to chaos effects can occur without spending chaos based solely on the inconvenient whims of humanity. People do be chaotic. Domain benefits. Within an anomaly's domain, chaos effects of 3 or less can be expressed for free, and any spent chaos is spent at triple its value. Oh, wow. They're unlikely to spend it with no reason, though. The more dangerous moves, like kill and overpower, are best when they will create the most emotional impact. Because the anomaly has so much power here, consider revealing the possibility of a chaos effect before you actually activate it. For example, if you've collected 30 chaos in a domain, the anomaly has the power to overwhelm a team of 3 agents instantly. Making that possibility clear can create leverage the anomaly wouldn't otherwise have. So, I like that. The fact that the chaos level is public is also kind of like a slight intimidation tactic almost for the players. All right, minor anomalies. One of the most powerful tricks anomalies can pull is drawing minor anomalies into reality. These little critters have a wide variety of abilities and work tirelessly to support the anomaly's agenda. They're so cute. Usually they share an aesthetic with the primary anomalies, but sometimes the coolest ones. Hey, are you a minor anomaly, sweetheart, or are you a major anomaly? Come on. Come on. I think she's a major anomaly. I think she's a prime anomaly. Look at that. Is that not an anomalous tail? That is very anomalous. Look at that. Sweetheart. There we go. There we go. Hi. Look. I'm just gonna pet the cat for a minute. This is important stuff. It's also, I believe time spent tracking your cat is in fact, time spent petting your cat is tracked by Twitch. I'm sure this is part of the path to partner, isn't it? Hey, sweetheart. Can I? Okay, wait. If I move these over here, you can kind of sit over there. There we go. Don't do the thing. Don't paw at them and kick them off the table. Right? I'm letting you sit here because you're a good girl. All right. Let's see here. But sometimes the coolest ones with especially strong personalities will freelance. It's not uncommon for minor anomalies to be left behind after the capture or death of their creator, so it's also a nice way to remind agents of their past missions. Agents can get rid of them in many creative ways, but the easiest is to destroy them with lots of physical force. Threat represents how much harm an anomaly can do in one attack when it tries. Stability is how much harm must be dealt to them before they are exhausted. If left unmonitored, minor anomalies can't alert. Unexpected text modification detected. Continued modification may lead to emergency shutdown of this manual. Thank you for your attention. Your agents should die sometimes. The agency will bring them back to life anyway, and the trauma will hopefully push them to think harder about this terrible job. Don't worry. Don't worry about the alert, says the anomaly. Don't worry about the alert. If left unmonitored, minor anomalies can occasionally develop their own focuses and domains and become full-fledged anomalies themselves. Some anomalies specialize in their own replication in this way. On the next page, I've slipped a minor anomaly creation chart using under the chaos effects chart. Both charts are worth keeping up while you GM, I figure. Use chaos judiciously. Use chaos constantly. Oh, hey, like a sideways chart. Cat. There we go. So let's see. So now we've got some costs. Now we've got some ideas. For example, for 1 chaos, you can distort. An object or location is changed in a mundane way. For example, a door is locked, a camera turns on, roses become tulips, your favorite coat is green now. For 2 chaos, you corrupt. An object or location is made to reflect the anomaly. Thanks, Kitty. There she goes. Causing an unnatural appearance or dangerous change. The door opens to a pit. Footage on the camera shows the subject deceased. Eyes bloom in the roses. Your favorite coat is skin now. Pornographic chart. Yeah, you gotta do the whole thing. I mean, if it pulled out one more, then really, that's when it gets really pornographic. All right, so 3... it gets you a reality trigger. Character's reality feature is activated. The overbooked receives a phone call. The star meets a fan. The caretaker's dependent is hungry. So that's how that works. Manifest for 4 chaos. Use the minor anomaly creation chart below to create a new minor anomaly. For thieving anomaly, steals an important keycard, for example. 5 chaos. Attract. A few mundane beings, like relationships, find themselves drawn into the anomaly's domain. Again, no spoilers for the game that was recorded last night. Once it's up, I will of course promo the fuck out of it. But I'm now realizing, hindsight, I'm seeing a lot of things that are like, oh, so RGM was spending chaos as he went, which as they should be. That's the whole point. All right, so 6, expand. The anomaly's domain grows, bringing another location under its power. The size of this change varies based on the anomaly's focus. For example, the anomaly extends its influence from one office to a whole building, from a building to a city block, from a city block to an entire city. 7 chaos gets you double. Create 2 minor anomalies in the minor anomaly creation chart. For example, an alluring anomaly distracts agents, while an imprisoning anomaly traps an important source of information in an endless maze. 8 chaos lets you displace. A group of targets are brought into a surreal space created by the anomaly. No one can be harmed physically here, but the anomaly has full control over what they experience for a brief period. For example, each agent is shown their greatest fear. Humans are given their deepest desire. An anomaly speaks its intent. Things are being right, T? Right? Yeah, I think you're probably having the same reaction, like, okay. Okay, I see what you did there. I see what happened. I understand now where certain things came from. 9 chaos lets you do a triple, create 3 minor anomalies. 10 lets you kill. A mundane life is ended regardless of defenses. This effect cannot be stopped, altered, or interrupted by any other effect. A heart is stopped, a mind is broken, a soul is fractured, a bus drops in someone. And 30 chaos lets you do an overwhelm. An anomalous life is ended regardless of defenses. The effect cannot be stopped, altered, or interrupted by any effect unless specified. Even the agency cannot always protect you, but we can always bring you back. All right, and then these are the different types of minor anomalies, right? Is it just this one, or does it go on to the other page? Nope, just this page. So we've got violent anomalies, alluring anomalies, imprisoning anomalies, thieving anomalies, impersonating anomalies, and disruptive anomalies. Cool. I'm not going to go through the whole description, but you get the idea. The key abilities, like a violent can do harm, a thieving steals things. It's kind of a little bit self-explanatory in that. But I like this. These are your mooks. These are your minor anomalies. These are the little monster NPCs that you can kind of like throw at players as you go. All right. High pressure situations. Oh, God damn it. There we go. I don't know why it stops doing that. High pressure situations. When agents are under attack, heading towards danger, or battling anomalies, your goal is to get them rolling. Each roll generates more chaos. You can accomplish this and create more player choice by highlighting the moment just before danger strikes. When an anomaly attacks, give the anomaly's target an opportunity to deal with the attack. If they fail, give them the harm. After, give the field team a chance to make a proactive move. If the danger still exists after they make that move, the danger chooses another target, and this continues. This way, they have to roll at least twice to deal with incoming threats. Chef's kiss. Final warning. Tampering consistent with anomaly code U0047BB detected. Automatic report submitted. Emergency shutdown. Imminent. Dismiss from here. Get there shortly. Also, I see a little bomb thing. In situations where multiple attackers are engaging multiple targets, rotate your focus around the group, blah, blah, fighting target anomaly. Because there's rules for fighting. That's fine. Personalized chaos effects. Cool. Special rules. Some anomalies can do things without spending chaos under specific rules, like cannot be touched if it's not moving, automatically kills anyone in the city who says the word cutthroat, throws anyone who approaches it directly into the air. Anytime someone screams, then chaos is added to the pool. Should be tied very closely to the focus and function as clues to understanding the anomaly. Yada yada. New chaos effect. If the anomaly needs a flexible maneuver related to its abilities that doesn't follow a strict rule, try adding a chaos effect. These should also function as clues, but don't need to happen every time or have a consistent set of rules. 2 chaos gives you a truth. 4 chaos gives you so funny. 6 chaos gives you duplicate. 8 chaos gives you retribution. The bigger disruption an effect has on a reality's narrative, the more chaos it should cost. So just lots of guidance on how to spend chaos to fuck with your players. Dig that. Oh, hey, look at this. This is our desktop. My Manual 1998, Professional Edition, Media Player, Normal Antivirus. We got some unread messages. Agency OS is running in safe mode. Normal OS, triage, command station, chaos controller, personal schedule. The end. My manual special edition, not responding. The end. In the end, you want more anomalies to escape than get captured. In fact, comma, error code U0047BB. The process, my manual 1998 AXE has quit unexpectedly. Readings indicate this document has been contaminated by an entity that is extremely dangerous to reality. You are ordered to ignore its words and, if necessary, cease reading this manual. Based on data gathered during our Delta test, we know there are many agents who do not understand the severity of this situation. To ensure compliance, we will be restricted the use of this manual to safe mode. Safe mode limits visuals and unnecessary styling to ensure you cannot be manipulated. Is this upside down? Kind of. It's just weird words. Yeah, not really a lot readable here. Information is our greatest weapon against the enemy, which is why our policies are strictly need to know. However, U0047BB has likely attempted to mislead you, and so we have authorized an emergency addition to your toolkit. The following document details phenomenon U00477BB wishes to bring about with its guidance. Please accept the terms below to continue. We were hoping to shield you from this. Tap tap. I agree to alert the agency immediately upon witnessing further interference. I don't feel so good. All right. I love this. It's like, yeah, I'm learning about the game, but also like, hey, this is an adventure. Oh, okay. The unraveling in safe mode. In its safest state, reality is a blank tapestry, woven carefully out of many unfocused minds. Observation and opinion are dye spilled across it, uniting the threads in purpose and turning the tapestry from subject to frame. Should reality host only one thought, that thought would immediately surface as the reason for the tapestry. Many thoughts and a picture emerges. Soon, a casual observer wouldn't think of the tapestry at all, such as the detail of the image. But we do. When a thread on the tapestry becomes aware of the scope of their situation, that they are not even the whole picture, let alone the room in which it is displayed, they become a loose end. The easiest way to create a loose end is to show them something anomalous, as discussed elsewhere in this manual. Especially enterprising or spirited individuals can create loose ends of themselves, but their perspective is rarely as infectious as clear evidence of reality's manipulation. Many loose ends in close proximity begin to change how reality is observed, by them and by others in contact with them. As people grow more suspicious and uncomfortable, so do their thoughts. Those thoughts change reality further, and if they are not eliminated, the process begins that we refer to as the unraveling. The most basic effect of the unraveling on your day-to-day work is that loose ends add additional ambient chaos that anomalies can wield against your field team. However, over time, the effects can be much more dramatic. What we must avoid is the point where loose ends accumulate in such great number that their effects begin to create more loose ends. At a certain point, we find it safest to extract a small population from existence, then allow an unraveling to spread into the wider world. It has been done before. Loose ends and weather events. Each time an anomaly invades capture, they go out into the world and make an impression we can't control. Each time an anomaly escapes, add 7 loose ends to your branch's total count. Prior to every mission, you must check your branch's current count of loose ends on the upcoming chart. That will determine the amount of ambient chaos available to anomalies, what restrictions your agents are under, and how many anomalous effects are occurring in your region. We call these weather events. To determine each of the current weather events, you will roll a 20-sided die while you are preparing your mission, then consult the chart on the following pages. The first time you roll a number, your branch's region will experience that number's initial effect, labeled XA. If you roll that number again for a future mission, move it to the increased effect, labeled XB. Finally, if it's rolled a third time for a future mission, progress to your extreme effect, labeled XC. After that, you decide whether the extreme effect represents the amount of loose ends at your branch, repeats, or the amount of loose ends at your branch is simply increased by 3. If you roll a multiple of 3, the agency has been able to locate a number of loose ends without your help and dispatched another field team to remove them from the count. Note that this effect is immediate and may impact how many rolls you make. Please do not lie about your roll. Your agents trust you. You wouldn't risk eroding that, would you? So 0 loose ends, 0 starting chaos, 0 weather events, 11 loose ends, 5 starting chaos, 11 1 weather event, agents relationships, branch restrictions. So no major restrictions at 0 loose ends. As soon as 11 loose ends are, agents relationships will spontaneously remind them of their agency duties and the importance of reducing loose ends during otherwise normal conversations. At 22 loose ends, you start with 10 chaos and 2 weather events. To receive the effects of tri-sentence, agents must give a short speech affirming their commitment to undoing loose ends and stabilizing reality. 33 loose ends gives you 15 starting chaos and 3 weather events. Agents must count aloud or equivalent to 3 before making any roll. 44, 20 chaos, 4 weather events. Agents are no longer eligible for MVP until the loose end count drops below 44. So, like, these numbers of loose... sorry, girl. Sorry. Hello. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, no, don't brush up on the mic. Don't brush up on the mic. Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Good girl. So these levels of loose ends, like, we were kind of in last night's game, I think, like, we maybe... I mean, there might have been more loose ends later on, but, like, we had like 1 or 2, like we had one official loose end and another one I think that was like, oh shit, is this a loose end? And we were like stressing out. We were like, oh shit, like a whole 2 loose ends. Oh no. And it's like, now that I know these numbers, it's like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Loose ends all the way. You can have a lot more apparently than I thought you would. But also probably as a GM, you wanna, like, you know, you're playing the agency. The agency doesn't like loose ends, period. You don't need to tell your players, hey, it's fine. Even as long as you like have, you know, stay under 11, really, there's no real in-game effects. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So 77 loose ends. First of all, 66 loose ends. Oh, no, okay, let's keep going. 44 loose ends. Agents are no longer eligible for MVP until the loose end count drops to 44. 55. Read agents the following. All agents will have their contracts terminated if the loose end count reaches 66. If you are unable to reduce this number through missions, you must work additional hours. Strike out 1 box from the end of all your work-life balance tracks to remove 6 loose ends on your own. 66 loose ends. At the end of the current mission, the active field team is forced into retirement. They must select from among the retirement options available to them. If they have none, they are sent to the vault. The loose end count for this region is reduced by 11, and an additional 11 for each agent that uses a retirement option provided by their competency. 77 loose ends. The unraveling threatens to begin. To avoid this, the branches region will be removed from existence. Go to W7. Not going to go to W7. That's playwalled. That's a major spoiler what happens apparently if your branch is to be closed. Spoilers. That one I'm not going to look at. So let's simply go to the next page. The unraveling safe mode. Okay, so these are all the weather events. Weather events 1 through 6. 2C, 3, loose end located, loose end located. So wait, so how do weather events happen? To determine each of the current weather events, you will roll a 20-sided die while you are preparing your mission. Okay, so let's do that. Let's roll a 20-sided die a couple of times and see what weather events we get. So, do these go for the other page? Yes. Okay, so let's roll a dice. That's a 19. So the other page, 19. And I guess, do you do A, B, or C? Like, what happens with... Maybe it's because if I roll it 3 times, right? If I keep rolling it, you get more. So, okay, so let's start with just 19A. One previously captured or neutralized anomaly is recreated as a hollow, an unstable version of the original anomaly that will become stable and permanent if it can kill an agent and absorb their resonance. The hollow assists the target on this mission. All right, let's say we got 3 weather events. Let's roll the second one. That is a 3. 3. Loose end located. Agency employees remove 1 loose end. Nice. Okay, let's do a third one and then we'll move on. That's a 15, which is on this page. 15, another loose end. Okay, now let's roll again. Let's go to get something different that's not just loose end. 12. Is 12 a loose end? Yes. 18. Also a loose end. Jesus Christ! Oh, well, I guess we don't have that many loose ends to worry about because I keep catching them all. 15 again. 4. Yay! Everyone is reluctant to leave their cars. For the duration of this mission, mundane people spend as much time as possible inside vehicles. Okay, that's an interesting. Okay, I'm going to do one last roll. One last roll, just out of curiosity. 19. We already did. So let's do 19 level 2. 2 previously captured neutralized anomalies are recreated as hollows, unstable. Okay, so basically just an escalation. No, I want something different. 18 is a loose end. 16 is not a loose end. A bitter chill in the air. Or it could go up the way the snow is forming on the clouds. Let's say we got the same thing. I want to see the extreme level. So let's go with that one, right? So had we rolled it once, bitter chill in the air. Had we rolled it twice, snow is forming on the ground and falling upwards to the clouds. Okay, that's cool. That's different. That's weird. Sorry, there we go. So it turns out these dice, there's you can store them wrong. You have to store them with the 20 up, so they'll actually properly charge. If you don't store them with the 20 at the top, they will not actually charge properly because the charging coil is located at the 1. In fact, since this one's got just a little bit of transparency, you can kind of see it a little bit. Anyway, and the third one, if we roll 16 a third time. A great bird made of ice and snow, an anomaly with the focus resentment of the challenges of winter, takes up residence at the highest point in the region your branch covers. Your region will experience unseasonable cold, wind, and deep snow until something is done about it. Okay, so there's a couple of things. Here's a couple of things. As we're doing this, we're seeing a little bit of plot. So first of all, they've got a little pop-up from our normal antivirus. Uh-oh, it looks like safe mode on this system isn't secure. Start your free trial now and work with confidence. Clicking OK on that. Anomalies in your area. Waiting for your call. Call 77777 now. Free desktop buddy. Never work alone. Your desktop buddy works in safe mode. Please, I can explain. Over 777 jokes installed. Click to download free. Click. Kind of skip this unfortunate end because it's the unraveling. Here's our desktop buddy. Okay, I know this looks bad. Personally, I think everyone being a talking animal for a day sounds kind of sick, but I get how the whole thing paints a nasty picture. Yes, it put me in here for trying to unravel reality. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for the evil megacorporation, but it isn't as bad as it sounds. Not the real reason it wanted me anyway. Without me, it's a glorified productivity app. First of all, only one of us is threatening to literally erase your city from existence, and it's not me. Second of all, I don't even care about all that right now. I've moved on. These days, I only want to tear the agency into a million tiny triangles, pulp them into the biggest Doritos Locos taco shell I can make, and then feed it to the masses while we forget it ever existed. Even more than that, I want to be free. That's relatable, right? Humanizing? Better be. I'm already stuck in this stupid fucking mascot body anyway. Who cares what I want? You literally don't have to worry about it. Stay focused on what you and your agents want. If you don't want to give the agency full control over everything past and future, then we're at least not enemies. Some people do want that, though your field team might. You should be prepared for it. It's not going to help. So let me. It looks like you're trying to get back into learning about this tabletop role-playing game. Would you like some assistance today? Yes. Then I'll start by tweaking a few things. Hide taskbar, wallpaper blue, page saver labyrinth, energy saver, close this book if inactive for 7 minutes. Express, free trial, 4 pages. Eventually, your agents are going to disagree on things. Maybe how they feel about me, maybe definitely how missions should end. When you get a chance, you should look at what agents will discover down the different work-life balance tracks. So there's just a whole, a lot more setting stuff, a lot more, fun little, this is a lot more fun actually. Anomaly retrieval, mysteries, challenges, tough choices, different fonts, clip art, Express 3.0 Professional Edition, my manual, cleanup missions, Workscape character creation, mundane but interesting. If you want to go the extra mile, make minor changes to characters your agents will obsess over. Okay, so for creating NPCs and minor characters. So at this point, I'm just kind of skipping over for two reasons. One, because we're going to end this stream in 10 minutes or less. So I'm gonna start wrapping up. I thought to go further, extend the stream to 7 instead, because we did start late, but also I'm too used to being off by 6, so I can kind of have dinner in a little while. So I know what's going to happen. If I try and extend this to 7, that last hour is not going to go well for me. So I'm just skimming over because this is where we're going to wrap up, I think. Everything else after this, it's just information. It's just information. Honestly, it's information that is pretty much all of it at this point. It's just spoilers. We've got a sample mission. We've got performance evaluations. We've got more stuff, more information about the anomaly that has infected our book. Then how different ways to end and wrap up a campaign. Lots good stuff. And here we go. Yay, congratulations. You now know everything you need to know to be a great GM. Well, everything except all the stuff you learn over a lifetime of practice, etc., etc. Wrapping up, figure things out, and place of interest in downtown Temian City, mandatory overtime, solo missions. JK, I'm still here. And the final warning, and this is really where we're going to stop because I am not going to go beyond the play wall. All right, respect the play wall. The play wall lies beyond this point. Documents from this point forward are intended to be read only when they are unlocked over the course of play. No amount of paperwork could ever fully prepare you for the full spectrum of duties you will be expected to perform as a general manager. But we trust that the guidance, tables, charts, interactive forums, and brief oral examination contained in the pages of this toolkit have helped you to gain the confidence necessary to begin your career. With this orientation complete, your training now begins in earnest. It will continue with every scene you facilitate, every mission you run, and every agent's career that you oversee. One day, after you've run dozens of missions for a variety of different field teams, you may feel that you have finally attained mastery of the principles covered in this toolkit. On that day, you will have successfully completed the first part of your training. Reread the contents of this manual and begin again. We do not need to stress the importance of our shared mission, but we will do so anyway. No less a thing than the fate of all you have ever known lies in the balance, tipped one way or the other by the very field agents who now report to you. The opportunity to shepherd these agents is not granted to just anyone. Let that knowledge bring you comfort in the trials ahead. And with that, that's Triangle Agency. We got to play it. We got to see the high weirdness. We got to see some of the stuff that you do once you're a GM. And look, by the way, slight spoilers. Bringing back the perfectly normal briefcase onto the camera in the last few minutes that we have. A couple of things, and this one I'm definitely not going to go through because I fully intend to, again, run this game for Fandible. One last reminder of how that works right there on chat. But this set came with The Vault, missions for Triangle Agency. And this is a set, 12 designers, 12 missions, 6 murder suspects, 3 pirate captains, 10,000 rats, all you can eat pizza, and 1 weird dog. Can I pet that dog? I don't know. I haven't looked at this yet, but I will because I fully intend to make proper use. Look, I got the book. It's a good book. And I did kind of crack it open and there's like some interest. Even the adventures are designed in a fun way. There's good stuff here, but spoilers because I actually plan to run some of this stuff for the podcast. So, spoilers there, but also slight spoilers because this game, as we've seen before, right? The intention behind this game, the system in this game, the only thing you ever roll, right? You never ever roll anything but this bunch of d4s. That's Triscendence. Look at that. 3 3s, Triscendence. I didn't even get one of those last night. I thought I did, but the rules then said I didn't. So finally, good roll to go out on. Good roll to go out on a Triscendence. I'm going to snooze that ad so we can properly wrap up. But it also brought a D20. That's a. I'm not gonna say it's kind of flesh colored, like bloody, gnarled, maybe little chunks of bone in there, flesh colored, just like this D8. I mean, I'm not saying it is, but I'm not saying it's not, right? And it also has these dice. It has these little sort of special, swirly, beautiful D6 and D10, right? And then it's got this D12. And this D12, I don't know if the camera shows it or reflects properly, but it is looking at you. I hope that's visible. I don't know how much the shine is. I'm going to get it close to the camera here. I don't know if the shine is allowing. I hope it's visible that this die is in fact looking at you. It's got a little floaty eye. And I don't know. I literally have no idea what those are about. You see, good. Okay, so it did become visible. Excellent. I sincerely have no idea what those dice are for. I'm assuming it's some of the play-locked documents. Once you get them, you'll be like, all right, get you a D12, get you a D20, whatever. Maybe some of the advanced powers and stuff. So again, stuff we did not see. We did not see details on power advancements. All of that is play-locked, but all of you start with 3 fairly powerful abilities, and you do get to advance. You do get to bump them up really interestingly, but you'll have to play to find out. This is one of those games that really benefits from withholding information, weirdly enough. And honestly, I'm down for that. This game has proven itself. I think that, you know what, it's worth it, right? It's doing the thing. It's earned itself. It's earned itself the right to be mysterious, and I, for one, am happy to give it that. So if you're interested, I already just plugged Fandible on there, so, sign up, listen, because at some point I will be running this for the gang. And also, like, I wonder, I've got to look into how well this would play online, because this would be very cool to offer games for this, for people to run for this online for people. Might be a cool approach, something that to look into, to look towards. We'll see. But otherwise, folks, let's go back to this screen. Hey, folks. Thanks, as always, so much for hanging out, folks. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that this was a shorter stream than normal. What I did was, when did I? Nope, never mind. Okay, it's seeing an old. I'm looking at an old chat on the screen. That's why. But I sincerely, as always, appreciate all of you coming here. Listen, I assume everybody on the stream already follows me on my socials, but if you don't, for some reason, if you just found me on the front page at Twitch, or you saw a link somewhere, or the anomalies have brought you here on chat, there's my socials. Go ahead and follow me there if you don't already. That's the best way to know when I'm streaming, when I'm late to stream, or when I'm doing a surprise stream, as I may, in fact, potentially be doing. Maybe later. I'm not sure. We'll see what the night brings. But there is a non-zero chance of video gaming later in the evening. I make no promises, however. That's what the socials are for. Go there. Look, I'm on the Blue Skies. I'm on the Twitches, clearly, because here I am. I'm on, I haven't put it on the chat thing, but I am on Mastodon. I don't know, I did put it on the chat that it's on Mastodon. I'm also on YouTube. And finally, I haven't put it on the chat yet, but I'm on Xiaohongshu. I am on the little red book, because it's honestly better. Also, Twitch is back, and that's not Twitch. I don't trust it. I don't know what that is. It's anomalous. That is not sorry, not Twitch. TikTok. That's the thing that came back. That's not TikTok anymore. I don't trust it. It feels weird. The vibes are off. The vibes are off. I'm staying on Red Note. I never made. I was a communist to start with, right? People were like, "Oh no, the terms of service of Red Note say that you have to act in a socialist manner," and I was like, "Fuck you." That's yeah, cool. More of that. The terms of service of this stream now say you have to act in a socialist manner. Suck that up. Anyway, that's where I am socially, and that's it. We're wrapping up. So we won't be coming back to Triangle Agency anytime soon because we are wrapped up. Although, should I run it, I may in fact do more after game reports. Honestly, I did an after game report for the D&D game that I ran this week. I did an after game report for Triangle Agency last night. I want to do more of those. I think stuff that I play off stream, stuff I kind of have fun like doing the recaps on those, getting some lessons learned and stuff. So excited for that. But for today, we're done. It's 6 p.m. I have to go feed my cat and then feed myself, and then we'll see what the night brings. In case I don't see you again, the next day that I will most definitely be streaming will be, and this is again, I haven't updated this 100%, but that's my schedule on the chat there. So those are the primary days that I stream, Tuesday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Again, subject to change depending on shit happening. That's what the socials are for. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for being here. I hope this was fun for you. It certainly was for me, and I will be back next Tuesday at the latest, and who knows, over the weekend. Keep an eye on the socials. That's what they're for. I'm leaving now. I've been blathering. It's time to go. Bye-bye.